Welcome once again, friends, viewers, esteemed students. Welcome once again to the School of Athenia for another Chugcratic seminar, the 23rd in this educational series. As of this moment, I am joined by two of my highly esteemed, highly decorated deans. First, the ever-present Dean of Critique, Runestone.
7K subscribers, people.
Oh, have you finally hit it?
Yeah.
Oh, congrats. Let's give a round of applause. Char, Dean of Fabrication, provide some applause for us, please.
Thank you, Jitters.
Clapping is in fact somewhat difficult for me due to my recent Forge accident.
Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah,
And-
you know, I was using the hammer, the big old pneumatic hammer we have in the College of Chugcratic.
Yeah, you smashed your fingers and screamed like Tom from Tom and Jerry.
I did, I really did, and it was very unfortunate. But it's great to be here, you know.
We are also joined by a special guest returning from the last episode. It is G1 Scorponok. Everyone give him a warm welcome.
How's it going? Sorry for the technical issues. I had to get this computer because it's a different computer than I was on for the last time. So
no worries, you had plenty of time. Yeah, we're just getting started. How's everyone been over the last break? When was the last episode we did? Holy shit!
I thought it was like late December.
Yeah, it was before Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the 14th of December. We missed both Christmas and Carnival. It's been a while.
Damn.
It looks like our viewers are happy to see us once again, though. So that's nice.
Yeah.
One of them.
I see two people viewing us, but one of them is me just making sure the stream works. But so yeah, one viewer. Let me go ping my server real quick. I am very bad at brand synergy hygiene real quick.
Do you want to switch to the next slide and we can crack on with recent purchases while you're doing that?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
And I'll lead the way. Let's talk beasts, both from Age of the Primes. First, we have Quick Strike. I recall the design team saying that they wanted to do him at core class, and as sad as it is that size class is no longer around for now, thank God they didn't do him that small. Quick Strike's design has way too much going on for that. Instead, he got a pretty solid deluxe. He's colorful, in a toxic sort of way. Fairly simple transformation. Sturdy joints for posability. And best of all, no clear plastic. Interestingly, he diverges from the Kingdom aesthetic a bit by having his beast head be show accurate instead of sculpted realistically like they did for Scorponok. I know he's a Fusor, so realism is kind of thrown out the window, except even Legacy Silverbolt's beast mode head resemble that of a wolf fairly well, I'd say. Some have complained that the snake tail is too short. In person, I think it's fine. And he has the numerous ball joints in said tail, just like his original toy. And then for the other purchase, we have... Sorry, go on.
How strong are those ball joints? I haven't seen any reviews of him or anything like that. Like, is he able to like pose well, or does the snake tail just kind of flop?
Well, in my experience, they seem to hold up fairly well. I mean, typically ball joints are the kind of joints that wear out over time, so maybe now's not the best time to be asking that question.
I mean, I mean, sometimes they're floppy out the box. I thought it was worth an ask, but it's good to hear.
Well, fair enough. The other one I have is Leader Class Onyx Prime. Something I don't think
Ooh.
was properly established when this toy was revealed is that technically he's a quad changer, bipedal robot, centaur robot, four-legged dragon, six-legged dragon. While perhaps not to the extent of Amalgamus Prime, I feel that this is a toy that relies more on versatility than having a proper complex transformation. Which, if that's what you're into, then that can be its own brand of fun. The joints are pretty sturdy. You got his tail and spearhead, which forms a crossbow. I think his color scheme is based on his appearance in the Covenant. I know some would probably prefer a redeco closer to his appearance in IDW's comics. But yeah, not a bad figure overall. Don't have every single Prime release just yet. I'm still waiting to acquire Primer and Megatronus. But that's me covered. So who wants to go next?
Yeah, Onyx is a banger. I love the Vercingetorix-esque kind of ability to transform from the bipedal robot to like the centaur robot.
I understood
I
that
love when
reference.
the Code Geass OVAs that like nobody watched, but they're not bad.
I watched them.
It's the gold one, the big shiny gold one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing is awesome. But I digress. I guess I could go though in terms of my hauls. I actually got quite a lot this time. So to start, let's see. I got Moon Studios Raiden, which I need to get a lot of my new stuff out of the box. The problem is it's always the space. But I got Moon Studios Raiden because a couple years ago when the MPG ones came out, and there was the war between Moon Studios and MPG, I went with MPG, and then kind of ended up sorely regretting it.
Yeah.
But then I want to say a month ago, online there was a sale for Moon Studios Raiden that I thought put him at a pretty fair price for 6 MP figures. So figure out why not, I'll bag him. And then I got Fans Toys Gouty, which I'm very excited about. It's I've got half of Devastator. So that's gonna be awesome in like 2 years, whenever the heck they finish that. And then I got a few more of the Make Toys Seekers. The two big, mostly the two new ones they just rolled out, where it's the animation error Seekers. So they did the one that's based on G1 Onslaught and one that's based on G1 Silverbolt.
Yeah.
So I grabbed those, and then I want to say that's it in terms of Transformer figures. I haven't really been buying a lot of new Chug just because I've been trying to phase out of Chug and more go like focus on a Masterpiece. But oh, and I also got an Iron Thor. Kind of a little bit cheaty to mention that, but my AY Iron Thor just came in. That thing is freaking awesome. But I digress. Who else would like to go?
Well, me and Kit were discussing earlier that neither of us really have much to say in regards to the recent purchases because we haven't really been buying much. Though I can say, if you know me, then you will know that the Overgear figures were an instant pre-order for me, and I have pre-ordered those on Ami Ami. I'm very excited for them all the way in October.
Those things look so good.
Right.
I passed on them though because they don't really fit with what I have, but they do look amazing.
I'll put it this way. I am selling a large chunk of my collection so that I can reorient my collection around them.
Dang.
That is how much. That is how excited I am for Overgear.
I just wish they get back to making G.I. Joe crossover figures, but sounds like Hasbro and TFC don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I've mostly been pivoting my spending habits to like history books. I'm getting really into the history of New Orleans Carnival, especially since the season has just passed. And so I bought a very rare book, The Mystic Crew, Chronicles of Comus and His Kin by Perry Young. Second edition from, I don't know when it was reprinted, probably 1961, but it was originally published in reprinted 1969, originally printed like 1939 or something like that, 31. And then recently, just arrived last week, I got a book from 2022 titled Rex, 150 Years of the School of Design by Stephen Hales, who's, as I understand it, whose daughter reigned as the queen of the organization this year at the ball. So that's talk about family connection. But yeah, as far as Transformers go, I haven't gotten too much interesting. I of course recently started getting the Mastermind Creations Devastator. I have both Scrapper and Mixmaster, and they are both fantastic. I was a little afraid that they would be like the latter Protectobots and be a little opaque as to how they worked, but I feel pretty confident that I could transform both of them just from memory. And I really, really enjoy the manner in which the wheels transform on Scrapper. It is absolutely inspired. Yeah, that's all I have to say about my recent collecting habits.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really had much money to spend on Chug lately because I have been getting into other hobbies. Recently got myself a set of motorcycle gear. And I'm going to be doing my CBT soon, so I don't really have money left over for Chug. CBT stands for Compulsory Basic Training.
Thank God! Thank goodness.
Yes, I
was wondering about that.
Yeah, it's the first.
I wasn't sure that you should be announcing that you're paying for CBT on a live stream.
Me too. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. if I may, I forgot one other thing that I've got recently.
Yeah, they should really change that name.
Because I've been such a tokusatsu binge, I did buy a I managed to pick up a Kamen Rider Gav belt, like the Gav buckle, and then I've got a couple of the Gochizos to go with them, like the deluxe talking ones. I think I got like 4 packs of them, so I mostly wanted the cake because the cake one is so cool in the show. And then I got the Frappe Gochizo because I have the Vrastum gear, the deluxe Vrastum gear on pre-order from BBTS. So I'm waiting on that.
Man, what the hell is Kamen Rider even about anymore?
About peak awesome, especially Gab. I love Gab, man. I feel like I try to explain why Gab is so awesome to people, and they just look at you like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Especially when you start talking about how it's about like drugs and human trafficking and all these crazy things.
We were just talking about Kamen Rider before the show started, so we'll probably be in for a real enlightening conversation after the stream ends.
Yeah.
But Peak Parfait was peak too. I just watched that this week.
Back in my day, Kamen Rider was a bug guy who rode a motorcycle.
I like Kamen Rider the best when he's not a bug, actually. But that's just me.
Anyway, we should probably move
Yeah,
on to
let's-
the
yeah,
main
before-
topic of the
before-
live stream. We are
yeah,
returning
before-
to an old subject this week or this month. We are doing part 2 of the overrated, underrated, overhated, underhated sequence. Not really sure what else you'd call it, but we're doing one of those again because we just felt like it.
Red fish, blue fish.
Right. But yeah, if you're not familiar with this, with the old episode, which one was it? Our 7th podcast. Go watch it, but not before this stream ends. Basically, each of us, we get to pick one toy one toy for each of these categories, and we talk about them. So first up is the overrated segment, and I believe Scorponok is up first with his pick. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So this is the closest thing. So I try not to pick anything like BotCon or kind of weird, like out of the way. Keep it mostly basic, like stuff that's actually available. So for people who watch, but I just really don't like this version of Blur. Like I think the original from 2008 is just so blatantly superior to this one that I just like the Studio Series Blur model. The Blur mold works great for standard Blur, but I feel like it just kind of fails at being literally anything else, including Shattered Glass Blur. Because like when you look at the Armada Blur, which I should have put pull a picture up to compare, it's kind of like they try to like cast the character as a mad scientist, and it really works because like in the bot mode, the kind of tail or the side wings that fold out for the minicon like flying gimmick also double as kind of like a lab coat-esque looking thing, which really suits the character. And I feel like you're missing that from this version of Blur.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing against the molds, but one of the things that I keep bringing up whenever we talk about these latter-day Shattered Glass toys is that they just relied so heavily on just being a straight-up palette swap of G1 Chug designs, whereas like sure the original was still a Blur, and Cybertron retooled him to be like a Blur. But he's not. He still isn't G1 Blur. He's still a different Blur.
I think
So
I think it's an example of the old saying, "The northern winds made the Vikings."
yeah,
Part of the character of old Shattered Glass was the fact that they were working within the confines of just using whatever molds they had on hand at the time to make X, Y, Z character, and so it meant that you got these interesting variations on the character. Whereas now Hasbro's kind of spoiled for choice, where pretty much every member of the 86, 87, 84 to fucking 87 cast has a unique mold specifically for them. And so the design team and the marketing team says, well, great, we'll just use that mold as a basis. Not understanding that part of the charm of Shattered Glass was the fact that the designs were changed by having to be mold reuses of completely different characters.
right. And that's how we got creative decisions like Energon Roadblock being the basis for Ratchet, and Cybertron Evac being Galvatron.
Indeed,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they had some really creative takes, but I just feel like this version just does not suit the character. The other one I feel like is just as bad, and I could have put instead, is Goldbug.
Oh,
Goldbug is also really bad.
The problem, I guess my argument against using Goldbug would be I don't think anyone particularly rates Goldbug.
Yeah.
Well, Goldbug's Bumblebee, so
yeah.
But
at least Shattered Glass Blur is still using a pretty cool mold,
Yeah, that's true. That Cliff Jumper mold's kind of okay. That's why I'm really glad. Like, I had the Earthrise Cliff Jumper as my good, like, heroic Cliff Jumper in my SG shelf. And then I saw somebody had, like, a Classics one for really cheap at BotCon last year. It's like, oh, yeah, let's go for it. And I just grabbed it and swapped them out.
The only problem now being that he's so much bigger than everyone else.
True.
Yeah, if that is all we have to say about Blur,
Yeah.
I guess we'll move on to my pick next for Overrated, and I picked Studio Series Grimlock. I mean, the thing about Grimlock is that I don't think he's a bad toy. I don't really have much to complain about. I just when I got the toy in hand at the first, I just felt an overwhelming feeling of ennui transforming him for the first time. It was such an it I'm trying to find the right words here, but my breath was not exactly catching in my throat when I got this toy. It was just more just an oh well, he goes on the shelf sort of deals. Whereas some of the later Dinobots, specifically Slag and Sludge, I kept around for a while on my desk and quite enjoy. I really enjoy Sludge. I think he is my favorite out of the 5. But Grimlock just feels extremely by the numbers, very basic, very unspecial. Because, like, when you take a look at all of the other Grimlocks that have been made over the years, like, sure, they all have their problems. Classics Grimlock has some weird proportions going on. Some stuff doesn't tab him very well. Kibble issues, some minor kibble issues. Yeah, but he is very unique. He's a very unique design, very unique transformation. He has a place in my collection. Power of the Primes, not a great figure by any standard, but he combines, and that's fun. Studio Series Grimlock, all he is big, and he looks like Grimlock, and that's fine. But I'm not gonna pretend he's the second coming of our Lord and Savior or anything like that. He's just a Grimlock.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like this Grimlock it's like the designers knew exactly what they had to do and they didn't take any risks doing it.
Yeah.
Part of me wonders if this would have come out better had they potentially done the other Dinobots first and waited to release Grimlock last. I know that like the idea is Grimlock's supposed to be the one that you buy so that you feel obligated to buy the rest of the Dinobots. But perhaps they could have learned more lessons making the other, let's say, less charismatic characters first, and then used those lessons to make the Grimlock as good as it could have been.
I honestly feel the same way about Swoop as well. Grimlock and Swoop are extremely basic.
So I'm here for all this is you don't like him because he's not accurate enough to the G1 cartoon?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Exactly what.
Yeah, I really don't.
You have read me like a book.
I really don't like this surface detail.
I'm sorry.
Why is it not smooth panels?
Yeah, like
my eyes are confused.
Like, what is all of this sculpted detail? Get that the fuck away from me. Anyway, in all seriousness, I'm really looking forward to the Missing Link Grimlock that's been revealed. I have him on pre-order. I'm probably going to be gushing over that figure if he's anything like Sunstreaker was.
I will probably end up pre-ordering that as well.
Yeah, that's all I had to say on Grimlock. Runestone, are you up for your pick?
Yes, I am. So, this wasn't my initial pick for Overrated. That changed when I messed with this toy for the Prime Masters video I did last month. Titanium is up there with Animorphs and Built to Rule as among the most hated Transformers toy lines of all time. It was developed by a subsidiary of Hasbro called Galoob, You know, the ones behind Micro Machines. Technically, Transformers is a range of titanium, not the other way around, as the latter is a multi-property brand that also encompassed the likes of Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, and Marvel. This was their attempt at working die-cast into modern Transformers, and yeah. You had those 3-inch non-transforming Robot Heroes figurines, which were whatever. And then there were the 6-inch Cybertron heroes that could transform. The main issue with those was the piss-poor mixing of die-cast and plastic, along with just general shoddy construction. This led to toys that didn't hold together great, some straight up fell apart, with low posability due to joint limitations and/or balance issues caused by the die-cast. There's a reason the G.I. Joe Megatron from this line is often found on worst lists. With this in mind, you have to wonder how anything from titanium could be considered overrated. Enter The Fallen. As controversial as Dreamwave Productions are now, the designs from their War Within comics were, and I think still are, pretty popular. Sadly, titanium is to date the primary non-third-party source for toys of said designs. You have Prime, Magnus, Megatron, Jetfire, Grimlock, Prowl, multiple Seekers, and of course, The Fallen. Naturally, opinions vary across the board, and when it comes to our future Prime of Darkness here, reviews I've seen tend to be somewhat more favorable. And I get why. This is the big breakout character of Dreamwave's comics, who would go on to play a huge role in Transformers lore. Also the figure just looks cool, except for those fists, stubs with tiny holes in them. Strangely, the toy design is actually adapted from Megatron's appearance in IDW's Infiltration and Stormbringer comics, most notably those tall panels resting flat on his back. With the Fallen, you obviously have the correct head, the glowing yellow and orange paint apps like he's made of furnaces, and the painted flames on said back panels, which, yeah, him constantly aflame, that's kind of his thing in War Within. Deco-wise, the charcoal black definitely suits him, but there's no dark purple, so not the most visually accurate toy. However, the inaccuracy is the least of my issues. Simply put, the build quality sucks. The tank treads and sides of the armored skirt are panels that fold up via a double hinge when going to robot mode, and the smaller of those panels don't lock anywhere in either mode. And there's no friction in the hinges to make things even remotely stable. How they thought this was acceptable, I have no fucking clue. In tank mode, the larger of those panels do connect to the legs, which is good, as the legs themselves don't lock together. Those little posts and holes merely align or guide them in place. Then there's the fact that parts of this toy use those snap-on plastic connector joints, the ones with the slots down the middle, one of them being in the turret torso assembly, which isn't hard to pop off when rotating. Speaking of, the articulation is decent, except for the knees, which bend, I'd say, 30 degrees maximum. Try any further and the thighs pop off, and guess what? They use those plastic connectors too.
Oh.
Even posing, or hell, standing the figure upright is futile, since the die-cast torso combined with the solid plastic backpack throws the figure off balance. They probably thought the die-cast in the lower legs would even things out. Nope. Lastly, like Studio Series 86 Megatron, the tank turret does not rotate at the center of the hull. In the Fallen's case, it's towards the back. And again, the torso turret piece is die-cast. Guess what happens? I know some will bring up that these Cybertron heroes are more for display, especially given the stands they come with. I don't buy that. They still transform, they have articulation, thus they were designed to be played with on some level. And Titanium Fallen proves that no matter how deep a cut you make, or how cool a figure may look, neither of those matter if it plays like trash. All I can say is thank God for Flame Toys and Age of the Primes giving this guy another shot, because This toy just falls flat in more ways than one.
I get what you did there. But yeah, no,
It is heartbreaking that that a toy that looks this cool is so crap. Absolutely heartbreaking.
Well, and now that Age of the Proms exists, it's like you kind of just that figure kind of just single-handedly destroys the entire reasoning behind getting this one. It's like just get the new one. It's kind of just blatantly all around better.
yeah. It is unfortunate, but it is a very good example of how important build quality is to any figure, you know? You could have the best design in the world, you have the best art direction, best engineering, but if it's built like crap, it's gonna be crap.
Well, like I said, crap or not, it's just outclassed. Like the new version is just a strict upgrade.
I really wish we would get another go at some of these War Within designs because they were so cool. And
Yeah, totally.
it's criminal that the one toy line that did cover it was just abysmally bad.
And not even 3P has really touched it either. The only third party within we've gotten is there's one masterpiece scale within Optimus. And
yeah, they did Optimus and Megatron. I think Jobby reviewed both of those toys.
I don't think they did. I didn't think it was Megatron. I think it was literally. I thought it was literally just Optimus.
They did do a Megatron.
They did a Megatron to go with Optimus.
I'm not sure it's the same company, but someone did a Megatron.
Oh, I
was thinking of General Grant, Civil Warrior General Grant. And I'm pretty sure he was a lonesome. He didn't have a Megatron. He didn't come with him. They didn't do a Megatron for him.
The name does not ring a bell. Besides the obvious.
But well, I'll get a picture for you. We can keep talking.
Our last overrated entry comes from Definitely Not Char.
Yeah. This is kind of... I don't know if this one will be controversial. Well, they're all supposed to be controversial because they're all supposed to be overrated. So,
we do, in fact, know better than the rest of the fandom.
It's true. It's true. We do.
Yes, the contents of my treasure vault prove my effective superiority over the majority of Transformers fans.
Yes, but this is Kingdom Core Class Soundwave, and I remember this figure making big waves in the fandom when it first released. I remember so many people gushing over it, and looking back on it, it is just an incredibly by the numbers Soundwave, and it's one of those things where sure it's a passable Soundwave at core class, but Soundwave is such a difficult character to fuck up. It's like burning the toast. It's like burning the beans. If you're burning baked beans, that's the equivalent of making a bad Soundwave toy.
Hi, Titanium.
Yes, exactly. The only bad Soundwave toy that's ever been released, at least G1 Soundwave, is the Titanium. And I really do think the reason this figure was so well liked was because it was the only cassette style G1 Soundwave that we had that was not entirely hamstrung by various legal particularities that Hasbro was dealing with the Netflix release. If the Netflix release had actually been able to have a full run and not be ludicrously inaccessible for what it was, I think this figure would have been a blip. Because it doesn't really do much. Like, okay, it turns into the cassette. Sorry, it turns into the cassette player, but it very clearly has the feet sticking out the top. When that would be a relatively easy thing to design out, just have the feet fold in on themselves. In fact, there have been a bunch of upgrade kits for that specifically. And you can't really do anything with the guns. They can't really go in their normal space as batteries because the blaster the blaster is stuck as one piece. And I can understand that it's difficult at that scale, but it just, there are things you could have done. And I think this figure got more credit than it deserved because Soundwave is just such an easy win.
And the funny thing is, this isn't even the first tiny transforming Soundwave, because if you recall, they did a smallest transforming Transformers Soundwave that was designed closer to the original figure, and even more absurd, it came with a tiny transforming Ravage.
Yes, I have. Yes, the one that you could inhale.
Yeah, that's a great point. That Ravage actually transformed where the little laser beak that came with this core Soundwave, but it is just
I didn't mention the fact
a
that
rectangle.
I didn't mention that the laser beak couldn't transform into bird mode, mainly because I'm aware that this is a mass retail toy. It's not like something like the world's smallest.
That's true.
It has to meet regulations. It has to be playable by children, and quite frankly, everyone made fun of that Ravage for a reason, and it was because it was basically unplayable because you could lose it in your carpet.
It's about the size of the pills I have to give my cat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm entirely fine with them not doing a laser beak. Even if it was larger, it's still not large enough to be really viable as an accessory for a toy that is sold at mass retail. Maybe a collector's figure, but even then, I don't think they could get the tolerances down. I think it would just be too fiddly to be actually fun to play with. I think it's more so that this design, they just didn't do anything. They didn't do anything particularly interesting with the engineering, and in fact, there are some things that they could have done that they missed out. Like he has no waist swivel, and it does leave him somewhat hampered. And I know that the torso has the joint in it for the front skirt and the chest flap. I am really bad at my vocabulary today. Good Lord. The chest door. We'll go with that. Yes. But you could have put a mushroom peg. You could have put the hips on a mushroom peg underneath that. And I think that would have given him a lot more range. And there's tweaks here and there. And like I said, it is very much a Soundwave by the numbers.
The same sin as Grimlock.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, the same as Grimlock, so that means he wasn't G1 accurate enough. I see.
Yeah, he didn't have his toes sticking up in the cartoon.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's the wrong shade of blue, god damn it.
What's all that extra more detail? That wasn't in the cartoon.
He should have come with Buzzsaw instead. Like the original toy.
In fairness, that's a pretty easy fix. Just get out a yellow shell.
No, Hasbro has to do it all over again.
What do you mean he doesn't come with all the cassettes and they don't all transform, and Rumble and Frenzy don't come with their pile drivers?
And they have the wrong names! They're the wrong way around! Man, you remember when they did the Studio Series 86 tapes and they specified like Rumble parentheses red?
No.
On the packaging?
Yeah.
That's incredible. I did not know that, actually, no.
Or like Rumble parentheses blue. I don't remember which way they went.
Okay, I put pictures of General. I found General Grant for you. I put him in some pictures I found in the Discord.
Yeah. This is.
I'll just put them off the internet.
As far as I know, this is not the toy that I saw. That is pretty cool, though.
He's big, from what I understand. He's like a decent like MP masterpiece scale.
That is
But
really cool.
but they didn't never make anyone else. They literally just made him. I think they might even be like a one toy wonder company.
Yeah.
Mm.
That brings us to the end of our first segment. Our next ones are the well, I was going to say hidden gems, but I think that's trademarked by a different podcast. This is the underrated segment.
These are the
where we
diamonds in the
find-
rough.
Yeah, stole the words right out of my mouth. These are all the toys that we think get not a bad rap per se, but not nearly as good a rap as they probably deserve. First up, just like last time, is Scorponok.
I wanted to shill Bludgeon again so hard, but he's fun pub mail order service, so that's kind of niche. And B, I kind of already showed him the last episode, so I wanted to do something easier to get, like easily accessible, but also like new. And so I figured Orion Pax. He's a great figure. It's a really solid version of the character who kind of feels like exactly what people would expect a young Optimus Prime to look like. He also has some pretty banger retools as well, like into Nova Prime and Lio Convoy and even Galvalio is a custom piece. So he's got some sweet retools, but the base figure itself is just all around really solid. Yeah, I just really like this figure. It's not underrated in the sense that people don't like it. I just feel like it's underrated in the sense that it's just kind of an older figure that a lot of people may have forgotten about because there's been newer Orion Pax figures and
It's been a much more prolific version of Orion Pax since then.
Yeah, Thrilling 30s is like, what, 13 years old?
Yeah, something
13 years old. So I
something
just
like that, yeah.
like, hey guys, this is still a really solid version of the character.
This is actually a particularly special toy for me because it was the first ever Transformer I bought with my own money. I had some birthday money when I think it was for my 14th birthday. Me and my friends were gonna see fucking Percy Jackson 2 in theaters, and I bought this for myself at the mall. The very first one I ever spent my own money on, and it's a good toy. It's a really good toy. Hasbro was just coming out of that big budget crunch the year before, and I honestly think they came out swinging with toys like this. Not every toy was a hit back then, but this one was damn good for what they were doing.
Thrilling 30s was an awesome line. Like, they just kind of tried all sorts of crazy things, and not everything. It's one of those, I feel like it didn't rain all the time, but when it rained, it poured situations where not every figure was a success, but the ones that were good were really good.
Yeah, and even a lot of the not so good ones were at least interesting because they tried their hand at redoing Minicon combiner teams again, and
I still have that Minicon combiner. It's a really nice figure. I could have put him up here too.
I think it kind of sucks, but it's a really interesting toy.
I think T30 was like the last hurrah of old Chug.
Yeah,
I think I just had this thought now, but I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. As far as like eras of Chug are concerned, in my mind I definitely split them into like classics through Thrilling 30, and then or at least classics through the budget crunch, and then Fall of Cybertron, Thrilling 30, and then Prime Wars, and then everything post Siege. Yeah. We're still very much in the Siege era, I guess. I don't think we've started a new era yet.
No.
Not that we particularly need to, but
At least not with a particularly hard cutoff. I definitely think there is a. Well, no. I think there's been like a slow change of doctrine between Siege and now. But still, I would say
It definitely feels to me a bit more of an iterative thing than a real revolutionary thing.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
totally.
Like Age of the Primes is definitely an evolution of Legacy, which is an evolution of War for Cybertron. But Follow Cybertron, Thrilling 30, like there's like a hard cutoff between that and Combiner Wars the year after.
Yeah, absolutely.
It probably has something to do with the fact that Combiner Wars all revolved around one central gimmick. And that made it a lot, easier to make it look different and stuff.
Yeah.
But, we could really make an entire mini-sode on Chug philology.
Chug epochs.
Yeah.
The Chug fossil record. Runestone, you've reviewed this toy, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
What do you think underrated is a good thing to call this toy?
I guess I can kind of agree that since this one isn't often talked about these days, but yeah, in my memory, it's still a pretty solid figure overall. I am considering getting the Lio Convoy they did down the line.
It's a great figure.
It really works with that mold.
It's nice how they make the little wing bits in the back the gold, so you kind of get kind of a lion mane, and they use the paint job to make kind of the front of the truck kind of look like the lion's snout. Like the paint details just really make it work.
It's the same kind of creativity that we were just talking about. What made Shattered Glass so special?
Indeed.
Yeah, that's kind of something I feel like we were just sorely missing out of like modern Hasbro Chug. I wish we could get it back, because even like the weird special things just don't have that anymore.
Yeah, they never take any like risks with their repaints. Like I get making like bespoke molds, like you want them to be as close as possible. But now they rely a lot on retooling figures now completely. Like, they in the before times. Sorry,
before time.
Like, I'm not sure where I was going with that, but like in Legacy or whatever, you got Beachcomber, right? And then they wanted to make a Ruckus out of it. So instead of just repainting it in Ruckus's colors, they just reshelled the entire thing in entirely new colors.
It is essentially an entirely different figure.
Yeah.
Like, it's a couple of like internals, but for all intents and purposes, he might as well be an all new mold.
Yeah. And while I might just be complaining about luxury, but it's just not a very creative process anymore. Like, you don't see any like inspired mold reuses. They just kind of.
In my day, we had to settle for, if you wanted a Ruckus, you had to settle for a mediocre Combiner Wars repaint of Off-Road. And I did for the longest time. I had that Combiner Wars Off-Road repaint as my Ruckus on my shelf.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up Combiner Wars Ruckus, but then it occurred to me that he wasn't actually a repaint of anything. He was a brand new mold. But he was only meant to be like Ruckus if you squint,
You're all Off-Road?
Yeah.
They did actually repaint him into Ruckus, though.
Oh shit! I completely forgot that they actually did turn him into Ruckus.
Service thing again. As part of the same set as the bludgeon that I love to shield.
I was just thinking about Off-Road being like, oh, he's supposed to look like Ruckus. And then they just made a ruckus.
Also forgot because they didn't actually call him Ruckus. They had to call him, I think, his French name.
Yeah,
which was like
Grabouge.
Grabouge.
Yeah.
It's Ruckus. Like, come on, people.
I mean, Grabouge is French for ruckus. Like, that's literally what it means.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but like, you know, like how, like, I guess you sort of still get a little shade of that nowadays, because in Age of the Primes we did get a 2-pack of like a Hound repainted into, or at least minorly retooled into Iron Fist, and then you got Weird Wolf sort of retooled into what's his name, Carnivac.
Carnivac, I'm gonna be honest. Maybe I'm just spoiled by modern Hasbro, but part of me just wishes that Carnivac got his own tool.
I mean, it's a weird thing. It is a flirting versus harassment situation where
Too true.
you know, I was one of the people who definitely complained when Hasbro repainted Bulkhead into Breakdown for one of the Buzzworthy packs. And I think part of it comes from just the whole change in doctrine. You can tell, like, it's not that they're doing it. It's a weird thing. It's like, it's not because they're trying to do something particularly creative. Like, they're not being like, oh, this is an interesting way to do this. No, they're just like, okay, like, how can we fill this slot? This character has the same body type, so let's just I don't know. Maybe it was also just that Dead End is sort of you know, that Bulkhead mold still I don't think is yet to find its stride.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't mind either use of that mold. Heatwave looks like shit though, but
oh yeah, Heatwave.
Yeah, there hasn't been like any character that's like, yes, this is them. You know.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? But I feel like we're getting off topic now.
Yeah, it appears that Scorponok has suffered a disconnection from the stream, but I guess he's done with his little segment, so we could
He's been
move on
disappeared by the
to.
Chugcratic.
He's been sent to the shoe log. I was pained. I apologize. Anyway, let's move on to Runestone's pick for an underrated toy.
Back in the Gimmicks episode, we talked what I'm sure most would agree is the defining feature of the Energon toy line, power linking. Not with minicons like in Armada. What was that?
I was saying, were you telling me Energon stars weren't the defining feature of Energon?
Guess again. Instead, most of the deluxe and mega class Autobots can transform into an upper or lower body for a 2-bot combiner. The results are hit and miss in both looks and functionality, but I'd say it's more about the mixing and matching and combining to begin with. The only real catch, if you can call it that, is that you obviously need at least 2 bots to fully experience the play pattern. Or do you? There's one figure in the line that, if you're trying to get into Energon, or at least the Power Links combiners, I'd say makes for a good entry point. Presenting Energon Tow Line, Deluxe Class. Also, G1 Scorponox in the chat.
Oh, good.
Sorry about that, y'all. I don't know. My computer was going to sleep for a minute. And I pressed the button to kind of keep it waking up, and then it's like, oh, we're shutting down. Like, no. So this is a phenomenal figure, by the way. I don't have the regular version, but I have the BotCon 2005 Ironhide retool.
Well, if I may elaborate with my thoughts on Tow Line, because On his TF Wiki page, you'll find a link to an Instagram post from none other than Aaron Archer himself, who went on record saying that the toy was designed after the Diaclones that became Generation 1 Ironhide and Ratchet. When asked if it was also an homage to G1 Skids, I think he said, let's go with yes. The alt mode is a television mobile broadcast van, to the point where his Energon weapon, which plugs on the roof, sports a satellite dish. It's a vibrant vehicle, I'll admit, but the blue chassis and red stripes with the silver outline and zigzag partway through, you can see why some might say he's a partial nod to Skids. Also, he has a couple ports for the Energon stars that come with the Omnibots and Terracons. Of course, the fun truly begins when he transforms. Tow line splits in half lengthways. As per G1 Ironhide and Ratchet, the top half becomes the actual robot, while the lower half forms a mobile battle/repair platform that can store various Energon weapons. Consequently, if you're into powerful, robust-looking bots, Towline might disappoint, as he's a bit on the scrawny side, not unlike the original Ironhide and Ratchet toys, I suppose. Also, the head resembles Skids a little, and his articulation, I'd say, is standard for the time. But now we get to the true highlight of this set, the power linking. Towline himself only has a shirt mode. Similar to Inferno, it's his upper body with the legs now over the shoulder cannons. Instead, the role of pants mode is fulfilled by the mobile platform. This means that not only are there two parts of him that are Power Links compatible instead of just the one, but since it's a part of his transformation, Towline can link with his own battle platform. Whether it's him or another Autobot, it results in a bunch of robotic centaurs. The artwork on Archer's Instagram even depicts Towline this way. It's so silly. I love it. There's so much you can do here, and keep in mind, this was back when Deluxes cost only $10. So think how much value for money you were getting at the time. I think Towline tends to get overlooked because he wasn't in the cartoon, which in itself is a plus, let's face it. Although he did show up in some comics. Unfortunately, if you're after the mold, but you don't like the colors, the only other options you have are, like you said, Scorponok, Ironhide and Ratchet from BotCon 2005. It's like it was meant to be. But it was never redecoed for mass retail. In the modern era, we'd probably get a DK2 guard out of this or something. Simply put, if you're after Power Links combiners, this is the place to start, folks.
This is such a phenomenal looking toy. Just absolute barrels of fun contained in this package. And it is a crying shame that I don't have this mold yet. I don't have very much of the Energon Autobots. I have Hotshot, both versions. I have both versions of Inferno. I have an Ironhide, and I have Prowl and Rodimus. That's actually more than I thought. But Towline is a very big gap in my collection that I definitely intend to fill. If only he weren't so goddamn expensive.
Is he expensive?
He's getting up there. I've been shopping mostly with Transformerland for stuff like that, and the prices are just kind of going up.
Yeah, there's a bit of a Towline renaissance going on right now.
Well,
more
it makes
more just a UT renaissance.
That's what I was gonna say. It's Unicron trilogy.
Yeah,
That's true. All the Unicron trilogy fans are entering their mid-20s and now have disposable income.
yeah.
I.e., this is the worst possible time to be collecting UT.
That's why you gotta become an MPer like me. You will buy the fans' toys, and you will like it.
Do they make a Towline?
No, that sounds more like Fans Hobby. If Fans Hobby did a tow line, I would consider it.
Mechanical Skull will get around to it one day, guys.
Yeah, they haven't even released all 3 Seekers yet.
They'll get around to it. They'll get around to it.
They release like 1 toy a year. We're going to be in a retirement home finally getting toy line.
They'll get around to it. That's my
grandkids will have the full Energon cast.
Yeah.
I'll live
The
to
Ben
100.
the Bene Gesserit plan in centuries.
We'll be all like 55. We'll be masterpiece masterpiece Energon figures.
There's going to be 5 reboots of the Masterpiece numbering system by then.
Oh,
They're going to be on like MP
plus.
MPGN the first, the next.
Revive.
MPG Revive plus Super Best.
New edition.
New edition. Z.
And each letter stands for like 5 different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, this is another good one. I, as someone whose collection goal is to one day have every single Unicron Trilogy mold, this is a good one. This is a pretty cool one. One of the more interesting ones, because it's a lot of Transformers characters are designed to be soldiers, where this guy clearly isn't.
He's the radio tech.
Exactly.
Forget about Freeman. We are pulling out.
We're pulling out, Losh.
What the fuck song am I doing? I was trying to do something out of Half-Life, and I don't know what that even came out as, but
Sounded more like Halo to me.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. I feel like we've kind of all said our piece on Toe Line now.
Yeah.
Our my pick for underrated is up next, and this might get a few groans from the older members of the audience. It is Beast Machines Megatron. I got this toy on Transformer Land a few years ago, and honestly, the entire Beast Machines toy line gets a bit of a bad rap. Some of it deserves, some not. But Megatron is a really interesting toy. I watched Beast Machines when I was a teenager on YouTube. I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I remember it was like this big reveal that Megatron was still in his dragon form, even though he was like super racist against like fleshies.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the toy that they made of him is a little small. It's on the smaller side. It's about probably the size of a current deluxe. But it is pretty cool. He transformed, as you can see, he transforms from a dragon mode, very reminiscent of his Transmetal 2 form, to a robot mode. Unfortunately, his arms are a little impeded just from the nature of.
I see you've neglected to include his Tin of Pop mode.
Well, I was getting to that, you impatient rascal. But yeah, as anyone who's seen even just a couple episodes of Beast Machines is probably aware, Megatron spent most of the runtime as just a floating guy in a robe, in a cloak, connected to like a life support arm or something like that. And this toy can actually accomplish that by furling the wings around his body. And I think that's really cool. It just gives a bit of, storytelling in the toy, which is not something that you really get too much of in Transformers. And I appreciate it for that. Yeah. The toy itself isn't the best. Dragon mode, things don't really lock in place. And in both modes, he has the same feet in both modes, and they absolutely suck because the heel spur doesn't actually touch the ground. I don't know what they were thinking on that one, but yeah, it's just a really cool toy. I really enjoy it. I just wish things locked in place a bit better. And I'm also not really sure how the gears in his dragon head work.
It'd be cool if they were like the monster bots and they had like the flint and steel in there. Flint and steel. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Fuck
Flint
off.
and steel.
But it'd be cool for real though. It'd be cool if they had the fire starters inside, like the monster bots did, where you could like pop fire out of the dragon's mouth. But I think they stopped doing that in the 80s. I don't think any figures have had that since since G1.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm.
I obviously own both the Transmetal and the Legacy. I own the original Transmetal 2 Megatron and the Legacy remake, but not this one. And I doubt that it would hold a candle to either one of them. I would give credit for the fact that, like you said, his wings can transform into his cloak. If not for the fact that he looks like he's wearing half a fucking Emperor Penguin costume. It looks like he's cosplaying his Break without the head.
Well, I mean,
Well,
that's show accurate.
That's how he looks in the show though.
Yeah.
Well, no, it doesn't. It's not quite how he looks in the show.
Char, are you saying that he's not show accurate enough?
I love how this has become a bit. Yeah, sorry, he's not G1. The Beast Machine's Megatron is not
Okay.
G1 accurate enough.
But I do have to give this design some credit, in that correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was probably one of the first examples in Transformers, besides maybe the Junior line, where Hasbro and Takara tried to remake the same toy in a smaller scale.
I mean, sort of. It's not really a remake of the Transmetal 2 design. It just happens to have some of the same design elements.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. Also, I suppose there's the classic Pretenders would have been the first example of that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But it's still very interesting because this was the era when like a character was released in a size class, and then it would just be that size class.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, starting with Cybertron, you'd get a version of every character in every main character in every size class.
Or at least a few different ones.
Yeah. You'd get, if you had your main guys and they'd all have their main figure, and then they'd all get Legends class releases.
You had a little bit of that before, though, I thought. Because didn't Megatron get, like, Energon Megatron? Didn't he get, like, 2 different size class figures?
Yeah, but I think that was more of a regional thing.
Yeah, I actually don't think that version released in Japan. It was exclusive to the 2-pack with Convoy of Optimus. But,
Within Beast Machines, you had both Mega and Supreme class Cheetor.
Oh yeah, the best Transformer ever made.
True.
How could we forget?
And also, they were going to do I think a deluxe Obsidian as well as the basic.
Good thing they didn't,
Really?
because basic Obsidian's Kino.
I would have liked to have seen a deluxe Obsidian. Is there any prototype of that out there, or is it just something that they said they were going to do?
I think it's just a listing on a TF Wiki page.
Oh,
Or TFW 2005.
That's okay, Char. We'll get you some.
I mean,
We'll get you some ice cream after the show, Char.
mm-hmm.
it's okay. You can be like me, waiting for somebody to make that Battle Armor Dawn of Futures Past Megatron. You and I could just huff the copium together.
Well, you can just buy the Dawn of Futures Past Megatron. He just can't come out of the armor.
I mean, I have it, but like what I'm saying, I just want one that's like with the removable like mech armor, like that's in the art. That
Fair
one
enough.
concept art for him. That's such a cool idea for a Megatron, or a Beast Wars
Yeah.
Megatron. I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
also hate to be that guy, but the only version of Transmetal 2 style Megatron that I have is the Popcon one from 2016.
Goodness.
Yeah, that's all I had to say about Megatron here. Our last underrated pick comes from definitely not Char.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is just this is Power Core Combiner's Undertow with his Minicon Waterlog. And you know, this figure isn't a figure that gets a bad rap per se, of course, because this is underrated, not overhated. But you know, the line Power Core gets a bad rap, and we love our Power Core combiners here.
We have the best Power Core combiners.
But
Power Core Combiners, the very best, only the best, folks. Not those shoddy compatible junkers. We only have the Power Core, they're the best. Okay, I'll stop going.
yes, but the thing is, in conversations about good Power Core combiners toys, or just like well-known Power Core combiners toys, Undertow gets pretty ignored. You have your Brawn. No, not Brawn. What's the tank guy called?
Bomb Shock, Heavy Tread.
Heavy Tread. You got Heavy Tread, and
Bomb Shock too. Bomb Shock's pretty solid.
Lots of
And of
people talk
course-
about Grimstone for obvious reasons.
Brimstone.
Yeah, talk about Grimstone for being a better dinosaur
Hammer?
combiner torso than Power the Prime's Grimlock.
Of course, we did a whole episode about what's his name? The fire guy. Smolder. Why am I so bad with names today?
And
Smolder.
Steamhammer as well.
Oh
And
yeah,
Steamhammer,
Steamhammer's
yeah.
cool.
And Undertow kind of gets lost, and I think that does him a disservice because he's actually a pretty cool mold in of himself. He's a catamaran. He's a speedboat. He's a militarized speedboat catamaran, which is something I don't think we've seen ever before in Transformers. He has a pretty good silhouette, relatively not that unique of a transformation. We've seen legs go over the head a million times before, but it pulls it off well. He looks like a convincing boat. The stock image I have here actually has the side pieces on the leg folded in. They're supposed to fold out so they form the rest of the hull, so you get a longer silhouette. And the combined mode is pretty cool because it has this diving helmet theme. Almost like Octopunch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wish we would have gotten a repaint of this guy as Octopunch because he would make a killer Octopunch.
He really would, yeah. He would have been close to a perfect like shattered glass Octopunch or something.
Although Hunt for the Decepticons is a pretty solid mold too. That's not a bad mold either. But yeah, this one as Octopunch would have been just as good, if not better.
Because it has because this one actually has the diver theme. And also something interesting about Waterlog is I'm pretty sure Waterlog is unique among the Minicons from the Power Core Combiners toy line, in it's the only one to have head articulation.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, his head can swivel 360
really?
degrees.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Didn't know that.
He reminds me a lot of like Mask pilots and stuff like that.
Yeah, he does. He's got like he's got the vibe of a Mask guy, or maybe like Centurions.
He's like Mask if Mask decided to just be transmutate flavored for some reason.
He's like a Bar Jar Blast flavored Mask.
Did you just say it's Did you say Baja?
Or how's it pronounced?
Baja, it's Spanish.
Oh. Well, I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, but we do speak Baja Blast.
He's a Baja Blast flavored mini con.
I only ever get Baja Blast at a Taco Bell. I think
But,
that's the only place you can get it legally.
No, actually, not true. I think over the last couple of years they've started to make like offer it where you can like buy them at the grocery stores, just bottles of it. But it used to be correct. Used to be for the longest time though that it was only a Taco Bell. I don't think that's true though.
As far as I cannot contradict you on that. Char, when you take your grand tour of America, we're getting you some Baja Blast.
For sure, for sure.
Anyway, I think the biggest reason why this toy goes under the radar for so many people is not because of its stealthy color scheme, but because it's just simply a tail ender of the line. It was in like the last wave of 2-packs, I think. Him and a repaint of the monster truck guy. I think those were the last 2-packs that they released. So, and this line went on clearance like really big, so that I'm not sure a lot of stores even stocked that wave to begin with.
Well, it was kind of a fad. I feel like when it came on, it was like it came out, people were super into it for a while, and then like the honeymoon phase fell out, and then they're like, we want something else now. And then
Really? Because I remember
came at the end. I don't know. I could be misremembering it, but
I was like an actual child when this figure came out, so I don't really know what the fandom was thinking, but I know in hindsight, a lot of people said that they didn't like Power Core.
And they were wrong.
They were wrong.
I think Power Core holds up as a gimmick way better than some of the newer stuff like Combiner Wars.
The biggest problem with Power Core, in my opinion, was just that some of the figures are just too fragile. And I'm not even talking about the mini-cons. I'm talking about like the base figures. Like I have gone through 2 of, what was his name? Skyburst, the aerial bots guy. I've gone through 2 of him because he keeps breaking in the exact same spot. The mushroom joints in his thighs are really fragile, and it pisses me off.
You're not alone on that one, Kit.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like some of these toys are just fragile for no reason, and that does put a damper on the line for me. But as toys, they're amazing. I love them.
Oh yeah, no.
And I've never had any issues with any of the mini cons myself. Knock on wood.
You know, and there is I think the most valid complaint is that you can't really do much with the combined modes because of the nature of the drones and the fact that the drones don't have any articulation in the arms, so you can only do a couple poses with them.
Yeah, but honestly, really, it's just the arm drones that need to be replaced. Most of the leg drones are fine.
Yeah, the leg drones are fine. I agree with you though. The leg drones didn't need anything to change. The arm drones could have done with like worrying less about the worrying less about the
auto transformation
gimmick. And
what would have really elevated this line is if the arm drones had like, you know, proper hands where they could hold weapons. That would make the line so much better. Because then you'd have more of a use for all of these mini cons, especially the ones that are paired with, you know, torso bots that weren't really engineered to like have the mini cons be the chest armor. Because then you could just have them be the weapon, and you know they can wield it like a weapon.
Do you think it would have been easy enough to just pop a 5mm port somewhere?
Yeah.
In fairness, all the drones do have minicon ports, so you can pop them on the shoulder and have them be shoulder guns, and that works all right. I actually have that I'm actually doing that with Undertow's combined mode. I'm using the Menasor drones because that's the only set of drones I need to get more Power Core Combiners drones. I kick myself every time I think about the fact that I missed out on fucking Steam Hammer.
I got mine last year, I think.
I was at TF Nation and they had like a stack of Power Core Combiners.
Don't worry, power core combiners are still fairly affordable. Even the more sought after ones like Grimstone and like Heavy Tread, you can still
we need
you can still find them for a decent price. Like yeah, so you should be fine. Just keep your eyes open.
Right.
The only power core piece I have is power combiner I have is on me right now is Make Toys Chaos Paladin of all things. And I got him at TFCon like 2 or 3 years ago. So it was a while before they announced the Age of the Primes of Fallen.
Yeah.
Some things
He's
to
still
say
a pretty
about.
fun figure. Sorry, go ahead.
So just say some things to say about Undertow. He's a pretty neat little figure in my book. I actually really like the use of that bluey green translucent plastic. The way they used it inside the combiner mode helmet that looks like a diving helmet. It creates
So
a very
pretty.
zombified look, like he's rising from the depths of the ocean.
He's like the Flying Dutchman from SpongeBob.
He's like the scuba guy from Scooby Doo.
I thought you were gonna also say from SpongeBob.
A couple of other things. Couple of other things about him. This was actually redecoed for United EX as Marine Master, who was apparently supposed to be G2 Manta Ray, who had a similar alternate mode. It's not the right colors, but that's apparently who it's supposed to be. And lastly, considering all the mixing up of the scouts and minicons they were doing, I don't exactly know who a redeco of Waterlog would be paired with, considering there were no other aquatic scouts at that point.
Well, he doesn't really have a specifically like aqua themed design.
Yeah, if anything, he looks like he can fly. So you can put
he
him with
looks like a
anyone.
little bewinged thing, you know. You can put a
Bewinged.
Bewinged, yes, he's bewinged. Also, on the topic of the combined mode head, something I'd like to point out, it's not captured in the image here, but the way the light piping works, if you hit the head of the light piping just at the right angle, he actually has eyes inside of the scuba mask. And you can see them illuminated differently. It's it's difficult to capture on camera for obvious reasons, but it does look pretty cool when you get it right.
That's pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of me trying when I was a kid. I would try to look at Cybertron Jetfire's eyes under his visor.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this brings us to the end of Underrated and on to the next subject, Overrated. This is the section where we pick a toy and just do some apology
we practice
for
some
it.
Apologetics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transform Chug apologetics.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily Chug, I guess. But the first one of the 4 is Chug, and it's from G1 Scorponok.
I just picked Double Dealer because I feel like he's a very solid figure that tends to get dumped on a lot. Mostly because that bird mode sucks, which it does. But like, let's be real. How many times are you gonna actually using the bird mode anyway? The other 2 modes are pretty solid for all intents and purposes, and they even put in the Power Master gimmick with like an option to have the Power Master gimmick with the little using the siege cassettes.
Sold separately.
So yeah, of course sold separately. Monkey's paw curls, but it's better than nothing. So I don't know. He's a nice figure. I mean, he's not perfect, but I feel like he works, and he doesn't quite deserve all of the flack that he gets.
He has a metric butt ton of accessories.
That too, he has a crap ton of accessories. That's a lot of fun. So I just kind of really like him as a figure.
I mean, well, I don't know. I can't really say that this figure is like terrible. I think it's kind of just I think it is just like the standard for what Triple Changes kind of are now. You know,
Yeah.
it's I mean, the fact that like the Power Master gimmick had to be done via sold separately cassette bots is a bit bloody rich.
Yeah.
Especially when that is a core part of the design's appeal.
The worst
But,
part is they were just redecos of some tapes.
yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like for what it is that Double Dealer is, he kind
Yeah.
of does what he needs to do. Like he checks a box off. And
I do quite enjoy his two better modes. Like just having a giant fuck huge missile truck is pretty nice. That's part of the reason why I like Cybertron Defense Red Alert so much. And the
the
robot mode
clearly
is nice.
superior Dark Side Megatron, obviously. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely a part of everyone's collection. Essentials.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're not a real Transformer collector unless you have a Dark Side Megatron. Sorry, Judge.
I like how chunky his robot mode is. Like I like how like just the entire front half of the vehicle mode becomes his legs, and he's like super bottom heavy in terms of his silhouette. I really enjoy stuff like that. And his color scheme is nice too. That Burt mode is absolute garbage, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like how the tail is like mandatory parts forming. Especially when that part like barely does anything in either of the other two modes.
Yeah, that tail sucks.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought on it. I feel like we had talked about it in a Discord call one time about this figure, and either it was either with you or either with like somebody else another call. That's why I thought I'd bring it up here. Like this figure's kind of solid for what it is. Not perfect, but good enough.
Our next pick for overhated comes from definitely not Char.
Yes. Now, this may be one of my most controversial picks because I'm aware that that Smokescreen, aka the famous Grap, is a little disliked, probably considered by many to be one of the worst figures in Armada, which is already considered to be a line of generally middling quality. And I would like to dispute that. I think for what he is, and this is another for what he is. For what he is, he's pretty good. You have to understand what he was made for. This is an Armada figure. It was primarily meant as a kid's toy. That thing that we collect, kids' toys.
No. These are adult collectible items.
Also, he's bad because he's orange and not blue. He looks nothing like G1 Smokescreen, therefore he's bad.
He's not G1 accurate enough.
Unless you count the Universe 2003 redeco, of course.
No, that one was also blue and orange. It's not
accurate either. Sorry,
but this figure is, I think one of the biggest criticisms that's leveled against him is the heels or lack thereof. The fact that they're on, the fact that his heels are basically on a curve. So he doesn't really have the best planting, and that is true. However, because of the crane arm, his weight is shifted so far forward that it is very rarely an issue. He doesn't have modern day articulation, but none of the figures from Armada really did. because he is designed to be playable. He is designed to be a chunky figure that a 7-year-old, a 7 to 12-year-old can fuck around with, and throw and throw the wall and say, "I'm gonna get you, Megatron," and
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get you. And in that he's solid. He's solid. He's easy to transform, but has a satisfying transformation, in my opinion. Everything clicks nicely. Everything feels like it has a solid end and beginning, as to where it's meant to go. And also a common criticism. I don't know if you've seen the old TJ review, the oldest Plastic Addict review, where an issue is leveled against him that he can't the head moves with the crane, and it hampers head articulation. But as we can see in your picture, Kit, the head is on a ratchet.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I think it's one of my favorite aspects of this toy, where the crane arm and the head move in like a geared manner, like they're geared together to move in the same direction. But if you just lift his head just a little bit, it spins freely, so that you can turn his head from side to side without turning the crane arm. It's really genius.
Wait, you can do that?
Yeah, you can do that. It's super easy to do. I'm really surprised.
Wait,
that's not more common knowledge.
How do you do that?
You just kind of pull up on it a little and spin it. I mean, it's still toothed.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. It just spins freely.
Yeah.
I don't know if it feels like you're probably forcing the toy to do something that would break it under most other circumstances.
Maybe.
No, I've never even been under the impression that it's fragile or anything. It seems genuinely designed to do that.
But I can just move the head independently of the crane, and it's on a ratchet. It's on a clicky ratchet. The same kind of thing that you'd get. The same kind of thing you get on any joint, and it's you can argue that it's not intentional. That it's made not necessarily to give you head articulation, but so the kid who tries to move the head and the crane separately doesn't break the toy. But it still can do it, and it doesn't. I don't feel like I'm going to break the figure. It feels intentional. And it has a bunch of other fun play features. The fact that the winch is on a switch, I think, is really cool. You can switch the winch off and then switch it back on, so that it's controlled by the rear wheels. That's a fun gimmick. It's just a fun, neat little toy. It's not flimsy. It doesn't look terrible. For what the character is, for what the character's meant to be, it does not look bad. There are Armada toys that look bad and look strange for what they're meant to be. We'll actually discuss one later in this episode. But I think Smokescreen's fine. I really don't see why it's considered one of the worst Armada toys when there are a lot worse examples out there.
Well, you see, it's because he doesn't have elbows or knees.
Yeah, true. But
no, I full-heartedly agree with you on this. Every time I find myself in a conversation about this toy, I feel utterly compelled to go grab it from the shelf and just play with it at my desk, because it is such an infinitely playable toy. I love it so much. The gimmicks all work super well, and he's just chunky and fun to transform and really easy to mess with. And and like you said, he feels like you could like beat up your sibling with it, and it wouldn't even scratch the paint.
Yeah.
It's just a really really fun toy to mess with. I do kind of wish that maybe the armor on his arms could move so that his hands could be freed up so he could hold a gun or something like that. Sure, but as it is, it's a fantastic toy. I love it. I love it so much.
It's
And he
just
has a
fun
mini-con
little guy.
gimmick that might make some people jealous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about the Minicon gimmick. The Minicon gimmick is pretty cool. It's a cool Minicon gimmick.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no amount of heel spur will save him from balance issues there,
No.
because he'll just tip right forward.
But yeah, hashtag not my smoke screen. Sorry, he's G1 accurate enough. Trash figure, 0 out of 10. Worst
Yeah,
figure
it's-
ever made.
And going back to like the criticism of that minicon gimmick extending the crane arm into a giant gun, it definitely shows that this toy, coupling that with the fact that he doesn't have heel spurs, that really demonstrates that this toy was more designed to be held in your hands as a kid than just put on a shelf or on a desk or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to be holding this toy while you're playing with it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And quite frankly, it's a pretty substantial gun. And it also doubles as a crane extension, as just a regular crane extension until you go all the way. So you get a little extra playability of it just being a crane.
Yeah.
Minicon himself is pretty cool too.
Oh
He's
yes,
neat.
indeed.
He's
Lift door is pretty
Lift
cool.
Door is a neat little guy.
And he's one of the most articulated of the minicons as well. He also has neck articulation.
Lift Door is often considered the redeeming feature of Grap / Smokescreen, but I don't think that's fair to Smokescreen. I think they are two components of the same play pattern.
Yes, they
Lift
complement each other.
Exactly. Lift Door is a little guy who can pose and stand next to him while and stand up on your little desk.
Yeah, Lift Tour is a terrible figure because he's not in the G1 cartoon.
He's he's not Challenge of the GoBots accurate.
Yeah, he's not challenge. Horse 6 beaten successfully. Mission accomplished.
Anyway, it's probably time to move on to the next pick, which is from Runestone.
It's weird. For all that creepy crawlies are or were a popular trend among kids, some of the worst selling Beast Wars toys were the bugs, or had bug elements. Drillbit, Injector, both Ants, Inferno, and Scavenger. But I don't think any of them top Transketo. To put it in perspective, Transketo came out in 1997, and he could still be found in stores by 2003, just as the Energon toy line hit shelves. That said, I kind of get why, to some extent, or at least I have my suspicions, because even within the creepy crawly fad, mosquitoes are among the most despised creatures on the planet, from their high-pitched buzzing to the blood-sucking to the spreading of diseases. I mean, thematically, the beast mode fits a Predacon, but from a marketing standpoint, good luck trying to make something like that appealing to anyone, kids or otherwise. Except in Japan, where bugs are apparently seen as cute. Is probably why the Redeco Big Moss and his fellow Insectrons were marketed as Maximals. I reviewed both Transketo and Big Moss, and Yeah, it's not a great mold, but there are some neat things about it. The mere fact that they attempted a mosquito at all is admirable in itself. For the reasons I mentioned, they essentially took a risk, and I kind of respect that, even if it didn't work out. As for the actual toy, outside of the poorly disguised robot hands, the beast mode is fairly anatomically accurate, as one would expect from the line. Compound eyes, veined wings, long dangling legs, a proboscis, which forms a missile for the robot mode. Weirdly, this has the feathery antenna of the male mosquito, while the underside of the abdomen implies blood sucking, which only the females can do. I'm sure no tasteless jokes have been made about this whatsoever. The transformation is fairly by the book. Beast head on chest, arms from the sides with the bug legs hanging off. Rhea forms the robot legs, wings on back. He's at least suitably gangly and monstrous looking, with adequate articulation for the time. The plastic he's made from feels a bit cheap in hand. Also, for those who think hollowed parts are specific to modern Transformers, check out the back of this guy's robot legs sometime. Gimmick-wise, the wings flat veer a lever. His robot head is a spring-loaded launcher where the missile fires from his mouth. Above all else, as he's one of the 1997 Mega Class figures, he has a bonus attack mode, which some have likened to a creature called an amplipogid. If you're an arachnophobe, do not look that up.
I always
The
have to
wings
cover my
form
eyes when I
pincers
watch
which
that part of
ideally
the
grab
video.
his victims and impale them on a missile tail. I don't mind the brown and lilac combo on Transketo, but I do prefer the brown, turquoise, green, and blood red on Big Moss. Though I guess the trade-off is that Big Moss is a GPS victim. And it's not even the gold and brown plastic that's the issue, it's the green. Overall, I'm not sure if him clogging shelves is enough to consider Transketo overhated, since it's obviously not the same as experiencing the toy in hand. But even among those who do have him, he's not the most popular figure. I personally think the mold deserves a little more credit than people give it. And that's the buzz on Transketo from me.
How do you spell amplipogid?
Big scary bug.
I've got it
I
as
found it. Oh, these guys!
AM.
Oh, I know
He
the
kind
ones
of
you're
looks
talking about.
like, he kind of looks like Iguanus and Bugley did some kind of Dragon Ball Z fusion dance.
A little bit.
I like these guys. They're funny.
They freak me out.
I'm a certified bug respecter here.
Yeah, I could kind of see why he maybe would be a shelf warmer.
Yeah, he is Kibble City.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
I don't think the color scheme helps because something like Waspinator is a bright green wasp. I can imagine that would be I can imagine parents being that seeing that on a store shelf and being less hesitant to have that in their house than what looks like a big brown insect. Let's say a dad is out with their kid shopping for something to get them. Are they more likely to get the thing that looks like is gonna scare his wife, or is he gonna get the thing that
It looks
turns
like
into a monkey or
like
something?
the face, or it looks like a predator, like one of those predators, like the
Yeah. And as you said, the mosquito alt mode probably doesn't help. No one likes mosquitoes. Even people who like bugs don't like mosquitoes. There's very few people who find mosquitoes particularly cool in the same way that wasps or spiders
or grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers are cool, yeah. Or endearing like a bumblebee or a pill bug.
Beetles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like if you tried to make a fucking cockroach transformer.
Indeed.
Just a roach former.
And like And like, there's something to say about, oh, maybe you shouldn't turn vermin into Transformers. But then, of course, we have Rat Trap. But people keep
If I may-
rats as pets sometimes. So
I feel like that is something that I feel like this is a apt material for Quan Mills to turn into his next novel. The Roach Formers more than meets the eye, or more than meets the hood. It's the unofficial sequel to Ho Got Roaches in Her Crib by Quan Mills.
I had a teacher once who had a pet cockroach he kept in his classroom and freaked out students with. He was very popular.
He sounds cool.
But yeah, as far as the toy goes, none of it like looks particularly offensive. It's just he's got a very drab and unattractive color scheme, and he has a bunch of kibble and some semi-realistic looking bug legs hanging off him that can give anyone the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
I want to smash it with a giant fly swatter. It's I wonder why Takara didn't just try to skip this one instead of trying to turn it into a heroic Cybertron.
Well, apparently it sold pretty well in Japan, so clearly they were onto something.
Perhaps.
All right.
My next pick is also from Beast Wars, and it is Beast Wars Neo Mach Kick. This toy isn't hated per se, but it does have its reputation precedes it. Let's just say, him and Robots in Disguise Sideburn for the longest time had a very infamous reputation of being two of the most involved transformations in Transformers history. And, for good reason. They are pretty complex toys. But I just want to go on the record and tell everyone that y'all are bitch made. Everyone complaining about this toy is bitch made. I haven't touched this toy in like months. But I transformed it to horse mode and back while we've been recording this thing with barely any trouble. It's not a hard toy to learn. You just have to remember two things, and then you can just kind of figure out the rest pretty easily.
A lot of people just think it's a hairy transformation.
It is pretty cool that he does come with actual hair on the horse tail, and he has like a ponytail in robot mode too. That's pretty cool. I don't think any other Transformer has had something like that. It just makes him special.
Does the fact that he has actual hair make him adjacent to a My Little Pony toy?
Well, I mean, he is a horse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a horse with real hair.
Yeah.
I mean, the frustrating thing. The frustrating thing about it is when going back into horse mode, those nylon hairs in his robot mode ponytail tend to get trapped between the panels.
It's actually not that bad. It really isn't. Like maybe one or two, sure, but that's just kind of inevitable. But it's really not as bad as people make it out to be.
It's also cool that they made good.
Used on the actual horsetail, I don't mind so much. But I'm just saying, probably in the modern era, if they were to remake this character, they'd probably just mold the ponytail in plastic.
Or they might get rid of it altogether. But one thing I do like is that he has a very semi-asymmetrical design in that it's pretty much just his arms. The rest of him is symmetrical. But the top the top bit of the horse's hide comes off, or well, not comes off, but comes up and forms this massive shoulder pad that just kind of reminds me of like a poncho or something like that. And he's, you know, he has a giant horse head for an arm. And if you press on that last bit of his mane, it turns into like a scissor punch sort of thing. So that's pretty cool. That's a pretty fun gimmick. He has a nice little tomahawk blade with the horse tail coming out of it. His head's really stylish. It kind of looks like a luchador mask, and he has a ponytail coming out of it because, of course, he does. One thing I can admit is that none of the kibble locks anywhere or really has a great place to go. But all of his ball joints are tight enough still after all these years that you can just kind of make do. I think he's a very fun toy, and I'm very glad that I have both him and Arcadus in my collection. They go together really well. I need to get more Beast Wars Neo stuff.
I think Matt Kick was actually the winner of a Beast Wars toy design contest in Japan, along with Arcadus and Bazooka.
Very inspired. I will say, we do have a picture right on the right there of Korada and Mach Kick using Mach Kick's weapon mode. I can't say I've ever used it or even attempted it, and I don't think I particularly want to. It just looks very tacked on. I just prefer the scissor punch thing to be just a robot mode only thing.
Yeah, I can't say that a melee turret has ever made much sense.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on that one.
Nice. We put up a giant
gimmick. Doesn't he have that gimmick where you push back on his horse mane and the head springs forward or something?
Yeah, that's what I've been calling the scissor punch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like accordion.
Yeah.
I do an actually here, but I forgot what the actual term is for it. It might just be like a scissor mechanism or something. You might be right. But it's I've never really heard about this figure having a particularly bad reputation. But
it just has a reputation for being like overly complex.
Fair enough.
Or at least it used to.
I think my pick for Overhated last time was Red Alert as well. No, not Red Alert. Sideburn. And basically for the same reason. And it's just, you know, yeah, the panels are fiddly, but once you know the movements of the transformation, it's not that hard.
Yeah. If anything, Sideburn is like a bit more of a challenge just because like he's a lot more rigid than Mach Kick is. Mach Kick has a lot more joints to work with on his kibble, so it's a lot easier for stuff to move past other stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to just like pick one end of the toy and transform it until you get to the other end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I'm surprised this wasn't even redecoed into a zebra or something.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty key now.
That's a great point. Should have been that. That's like seems like it'd be such an easy thing to do.
Normal words, but a horse toy. That brings us to our last quadrant, the underhated, the ones we have a bone to pick with. Yeah. And first up, once again, is G1 Scorponok.
Yeah, this is one that I just really, really despise this figure. I just think
it's a chrome dome, or the whole mold in general.
The whole mold. I just think it looks like shit. I think it's a terrible mold. I think it's terrible as a chrome dome. It's bad as getaway. It's like literally just the mold is just bad.
I mean,
loathe this mold.
I think we all know this mold is basically just a re-engineering. I don't want to say retool because I don't think it shares any actual parts.
You should say retool because it'll make people mad and then dislike the video and give me what's the word? Engagement.
I forgot to mention the real reason I don't like this figure. I was actually lying. The real reason I don't like this figure is because it's not G1 accurate enough. It's not accurate to the rebirth enough. It was only 4 episodes, and Chrono only appears for like 2 seconds. But nope, it wasn't accurate enough. That's the actual reason I hate it.
Reasonable, but
imagine being a guy who wants something accurate to the rebirth. It has to be accurate to the rebirth.
You don't understand. Hardhead has to have a face.
You have to understand, if my 6-shot does not have a button I can push where he says, like shooting cyber ducks in a barrel, he's garbage. Like, why even buy him?
Indeed. But yeah, no, this toy, what were they thinking? Really, is the as the catchphrase goes, trying to make a toy that was specifically designed as a combiner limb, and that's why it has all the constraints to design. That's why it is the way it is. And they tried to make it into Chrome Dome and into a Headmaster mold that they could reuse, and it just it works, but it feels uninspired. It feels like it's like a palette swap. It's like a reskin, in a video game. You didn't get a Chrome Dome toy. You got a reskin of fucking every fucking car combiner limb from Combiner Wars.
Well, and if I want a reskin for like a Chrome Dome, that's a reskin. This isn't like there's actually a better one. You could just get the Fun Pub one from the mail order service that they retooled from the Prime Wheeljack mold. That one is so much better. It doesn't have the Headmaster gimmick if you're a stickler for that, but it has the.
Well, I mean, if it doesn't do the Headmaster gimmick, it's not cartoon accurate.
I know. I got myself, but the Headmaster, the head sculpt's good, and it does have the Arms Micron little partner to kind of mimic the Headmaster gimmick. He's got a Target Master instead, but I just think that figure is better than this one. I mean, my real definitive Chug Chrome Dome is Fans Project Code. I just think that one just dumps all over this one too.
It is a damn good toy.
But either way, this mold is just bad. Like the Combiner Wars mold for Combiner Wars is okay, like because again the gimmick, make sacrifices and whatever, understandable. But for this figure, it's just bad. And you can tell, like, if you put him up next to like Hardhead, perfectly solid figure. Highbrow, perfectly solid figure. Brainstorm, yeah, he's a decently solid figure. And then like this guy, you put him next to the three of them, it's just like you hear toilet sounds. And I got.
Is it because he's brown and red?
Yeah, because he looks like shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest, I do not feel particularly strongly either way.
Well, that's the thing. It's just such a nothing toy.
I know. That's why I figured this is actually for like figures you just have a bone to pick, and I have a bone to pick with this particular mold.
Yeah.
I just hate it.
I see this toy and I'm just like, oh, cool, it's a Chrome Dome. Okay. I did buy Code, but that's just because Code is a really good toy.
Code's an incredible toy. It was the first third party I ever bought.
Yeah,
it is.
But I don't particularly care about Chrome Dome. I don't give a shit otherwise.
It is the toy equivalent of white noise.
Technically, he's brown noise.
Yeah, it's the noise I make after too many burritos from Taco Bell.
With your Baja Blast.
Yeah. Some Montezuma's revenge levels of noise.
Char, if you come to the States and you try Taco Bell, it will kill you.
I'll die with honor and dignity.
No, you won't.
You will die, but yeah, definitely without the honor or dignity.
I will die a warrior's death.
Okay, that is true. That is true.
Yeah, warrior's death on the porcelain throne.
I need a drink.
The trumpets of Jericho will accompany me on the way. Oh god.
Before you lose consciousness, you can hear yourself playing taps. Anyway, we should probably move on to the next toy to talk about, which is my pick.
Yeah.
I picked Dark of the Moon, Voyager class Ironhide. It doesn't
okay.
matter which version. The one that I have is the red one, Cannon Force Ironhide, and it is an abysmally bad figure. The truck mode is butt ugly. Let's be real. The bed, it looks the bed doesn't even exist. It's just like the bottoms of his extremely greebled out feet. And like there's some big gaps in there. The roof is painted red instead of like molded in red, so it doesn't match the rest of the car. And honestly, this truck doesn't particularly look good in red. At least I don't think so. Maybe it's because like the stripe is like orange instead of yellow. I mean, yeah, you know, he's not cartoon accurate enough. But I don't know. The color scheme just this color.
Not a van, not Cartoon Network, not cartoon accurate enough. He's shit.
Yeah, I like. Don't get me wrong. I like when they try to like put like G1 color schemes onto movie designs, just because the movie designs, I will admit, they're not particularly colorful. They are realistic, but they're not particularly colorful. And using the G1 color schemes is a good excuse to just have more colorful versions of these molds and characters. But I just don't think it works on this particular toy. And really, the big reason that I don't like this toy is the robot mode is just pure trash. It is absolutely terrible. The chest doesn't peg in super well. His arms are the worst thing I've ever seen on a Transformer. Like it's really hard to describe. There's like a sideways joint for the shoulder inside, and then there's a swivel on like this diagonal piece, and it connects to a hinged ball joint that forms the elbow. But the elbow has like this giant, like the elbow is in the exact middle of the forearm piece. Like it's not at the end where you'd expect, it's in the middle. So like shit's hanging off on either end of the elbow, and he can't even really he is, as far as I can tell, completely unable to move his arms forward.
Yeah, no, they're just on circular hinges. They can't move forward. He can only move his arms forwards at the elbow.
Yeah.
I suppose it's because they couldn't figure out how to... They just figured that you'd never be able to get his arms to fit around his massive man titties.
Yeah. And like just take a look at the picture that I posted. You know, the PNG I have, right? That is the most flattering I could make him look. He's just awful. Purely awful.
Once again, he looks like he's cradling his man tits.
Yeah, because like he can't do anything else.
He
Oh,
looks like
Lordy, goddamn, take all minutes.
he looks like he's had he looks like he's recovering from steroid abuse.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
Yep.
I've literally just discovered something about this toy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you know how the mech tech weapons only the Voyagers can lock into place, right?
Yeah.
For the longest time, I thought Ironhide's gun just didn't work like that.
No, you
But
just
I
push it in
literally
place.
just discovered how to lock it by pure accident.
Yeah,
I remember poring over the instructions as a kid, being like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
you just push in and twist, right?
Yeah, you twist like the little thruster at the back.
Yeah, yeah.
I literally just found out that part even moves. Okay.
But yeah,
The gun still sucks though.
Yeah.
yeah, no, this figure is definitely garbage. It does not. It's a truck, not a band. Not too inaccurate enough. Sorry.
It's not film accurate enough.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Bayverse. We care about film accuracy here, Chad.
Yeah, we'd have to wait. We'd have to wait another like 7 years for a better Ironhide, or just go back to one of the previous ones. Movie one Ironhide's fine enough.
Movie One Ironhide, my copy at least doesn't like to the center torso hinge doesn't want to stick. It's very strange.
Unfortunate.
A lot of weird tolerances on that figure, in my opinion.
I have the Hunt for the Decepticons repaint of that.
That's the one I have.
The blue one that came with Bone
No,
Crusher.
the gray one. The gray one.
No, that
Sorry, that's
that was
Nest
Revenge of the
Alive.
Fallen. They retooled that toy for like the Nest subline, and that's the one that you see in the Cyber Missions cartoon. And then they repainted that for Hunt for the Decepticons, and they packed him in with a Bone Crusher repaint. Yeah. He's blue with like muddy weathering. It's a pretty cool toy. I like it a lot. Comes with a fuck ton of weapons. Listen to that gun.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, that's all I had to say about this piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, needle nose enthusiast from my server called it hot doo-doo water, and he's completely right. Our next pick, or Char, your final pick is up.
Yes. Okay. I have a fucking bone to pick with this toy. This figure goes against everything that Armada stands for. This figure is, I think it's very strange because I think, well, it's not strange. It is generally considered one of the better Armada figures, mainly because of its articulation. But the problem is, it just isn't. It's not very good. And we'll start with the articulation. The thing that's the thing that's supposed to be good about this toy is the articulation. And sure, the arms do whatever you want with them. Fair enough. But the legs have almost no actual usable posability. The ball joints that they're on, because they are ball joint tips, which is a big rarity for Armada, in fairness, are very shallow. They're in a very shallow connection, which means that they have almost no outward movement, very little outward movement, and they can't move back at all because of the large electric block behind his legs, and also they can hardly really move inward. You basically always have to have them at maximum A stance because of the panels on his legs, they need to be able to clear, once again, the large panel on his back, the large block of electrics on his back. Which means he can't really pose as much as you think he can. He can only really do 1 or 2 poses. The other problem is, unlike most Armada toys, and this is really the biggest sin for me, this is the biggest sin that this toy commits, in my opinion. It doesn't feel good to handle in the same way that other Armada toys feel good to handle.
Here, here.
It feels unsubstantial. If you've ever handled an early Tobot toy, that's exactly what it feels like.
Well, of course, it feels terrible to handle because it's not G1.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, wait,
I'm so sorry.
don't tell me. Let me guess. He's not a Lamborghini and his head doesn't light up and make electronics to make it sound like he's paranoid, right?
Yeah.
Precisely.
You okay,
Yeah,
Rowan?
But it's okay. Seriously, I feel like Armada Red Alert had to limp so that Cybertron Defense Red Alert could run.
Well, that's what I was going to say. This particular design was reimagined and redone much better as Cybertron Red Alert. Either one, pick your poison. They're both better. They both are more substantial and more chunky. I'll admit I don't have the deluxe class version of them all. It's on my list. It's one of the ones I want because I want every Unicron Trilogy toy, but it's one of the ones I especially want. But I've never been able to find it.
I need to get a countdown.
Countdown or Cannonball, or maybe just Red Alert. But regardless, this figure, it's an Armada toy that doesn't want to be an Armada toy, and so it fails at all the things that Armada is good at, and it attempts all the things Armada is bad at poorly. And so you just end up with like a thoroughly, not even meh, a figure that's just bad at everything, really.
I have his repaint, Energon Prowl. No, not that one. Who comes with Energon Starscream? No, not that one. And his head is really floppy. Like it turns like super easy, and it's like you pull it up and it falls down, and I don't like this toy. I really don't like this toy. It is my least favorite Armada mold.
Absolutely.
By a good margin.
I would honestly say that even Sideswipe has the advantage of being kind of charming in how bad it is.
Yeah, I'll agree on Runamuck's count.
Yeah.
Runamuck is charming.
Yeah.
I'm not so certain Sideswipe is.
Sideswipe is like the pug of Armada toys. It's like it's bred too heavily to do a particular thing. And so it just can't live.
But yeah, I really hate using thinking like this, but I really do think the Age of the Primes toy is an improvement over this toy, just because, it doesn't have the lights and sounds, it doesn't have the Minicon gimmick, it doesn't have the opening chest with the firing discs, but it just feels good to play with.
It is actually a very rare case where I will say that a modern Chug is an objective improvement over an original toy, and it is it's because the new figure succeeds at everything the original toy set out to do and failed, and also succeeds at a bunch of things that the original toy didn't set out to do. Because the original toy didn't. Well, I guess it wanted to be solid. Because the new one is solid, it poses well, and to boot, it looks like the character. It looks cartoon accurate, it looks proportionate. This guy, he's skinny with big tits. He hardly poses.
That's how we like him.
I don't know. I prefer.
He looks
I
like a Centurion, where all of the parts, the car parts, are just like armor. You could just like snap them on.
Yeah, he does. He just looks like a human frame with a car chest.
Char, do you think are you suggesting that you think real robots have curves?
I. Yeah. You ever seen a Gundam? Look at the fucking hips on that thing, and tell me real robots don't have curves.
Shakira. But yeah, the Age of the Primes toy also solves the issues that the Armada toy had with its kibble. Like, it has all the same kibble in all the same places, but they profiled.
They have the kibble coming off the shins rather than coming off the knees themselves.
Yeah, but they also made the vehicle mode much differently shaped. It's a lot more squishy and like compact than the original one is, and that is a bit of a shame because the vehicle mode was by far my favorite thing about the Armada mold. I just really love the shape of it and its proportions. There's a very specific model of Jeep that I've seen in real life that just like looks super nice. I really love these like very angular, like late 80s, mid to mid 90s cars. And Red Alert is just a very good example. Well, specifically Prowl. Prowl looks a lot better since like the details don't get washed out. But I just really love like the shape of that vehicle mode, and I think that's something that is unfortunately lost on the new toy. But I do understand. I do see the benefit of doing that because now the leg kibble doesn't hit the backpack at all, unless you like really force it to. It's very hard to do that.
I mean, another problem with the vehicle mode, though, is that the feet and the lower legs and feet don't really have a particular place to go in vehicle mode. It's another example of, like, usually Armada is really good about having, like, a set beginning and end for every single component on a toy. The shins just kind of hang out in vehicle mode, and there's nowhere for them to particularly go. They just kind of...
That is true.
You just kind of leave them there. Like, are they supposed to be spun around? Are they just supposed to be left as? Who knows?
Not me.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Not me.
Also, the minicon sucks.
Yeah,
the minicon just straight up sucks.
It's a very... I wouldn't say sucks, because, you know, a minicon's a minicon.
It transforms in one step.
Yeah, that's true. He does just
Minicons. Sorry, this is a Micromaster household. Thank you very much.
In this household, we say microns.
No, we only have Micromasters, actually. No Minicons allowed.
It's called Micron Daisatsu, Chud. I probably butchered that name.
Terribly.
Yeah, but still.
Micron Densetsu.
There we go. Micron Densetsu.
Yeah, sorry, the Minicons are G1 accurate to the Micromasters.
You're really enjoying this joke.
Yeah, this mock kick is we're beating the crap out of the dead horse. All right.
There's no carcass left. It's just a scrap of leather on the ground,
Really
fully tanned.
It's a fucking really tenderized piece of meat at this point.
It's just a pair of chaps at this point, tassels and all. Yeehaw! Anyway, let's round this out. Let's round this up, partner, with Runestone's final pick. To put this toy on the list, you really got to have a bone to pick with it, don't you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, this is the category that I struggle with the most, since a lot of my least favorites are already pretty disliked. So when all else fails, preach to the choir. As is well known by now, the character models of the cast introduced in the Transformers the movie went through several revisions. This, of course, included RC, who was modified to the point where she barely looks like she transforms at all. Outside of the car bonnet chest and the front fenders on her back, there's hardly a trace of her vehicle mode in her finalized robot design. At least with RC's concept art, you get the sense that she turns into something, with the fenders fixed to the sides of her torso and the rear wheels built into her knees. Granted, this was back when an RC toy was planned, and the earlier model was the basis for that foam prototype. Of course, we never got past the prototype stage. I don't know the exact order of events, but if it was cancelled before they finalized her design for the show, they probably thought, well, we can do what we want now, and presumably tried to make her look more feminine in their eyes. Fast forward to the modern era where we get toys trying to recreate the Sunbow cartoon designs. And I'm not going to act like every other character model is easy to translate into physical plastic form, but to produce a completely show accurate, in scale, proper transforming and fully posable figure of G1RC is a toy designer's death wish. It's just physically impossible. Even Masterpiece had its work cut out for it. Good thing this piece of shit barely even tries. We got a deluxe RC in Earthrise. Of course, she has a futuristic car mode. The colors and minor details are mostly down, but the overall shape or profile just seems off. It's too wide and lacking the curves that add some sleekness and visual stylization. It's also missing the gray for the doors, so it just feels like a pink block. The robot mode is a decent RC action figure with plenty of articulation. And again, design traits like her iconic Princess Leia hair bun helmet are present and accounted for. But then we get to... So, Kit reviewed the Lifeline redeco a while back, and when time-stamping segments of the video, he put transformation in air quotes because, my God, this is one of the worst shell formers I've ever seen in my life.
Did I really do that? I used to be so funny.
I mean it when I say not a single part of the car forms a part of the robot. Oh, but what are the front fenders on her back? Yeah, they're just decoration. Always have been, always will be. But even the bonnet, it hinges forward, not to form her chest like you'd expect. Instead, it folds inside her backpack, which means, you guessed it, faux parts.
My favorite.
And speaking of that backpack, I mean, it's not pictured here, but yeah, a certain hashtag from a certain YouTuber comes to mind. Seriously, though, that car turns into a fucking rucksack, and it doesn't even compress that much. Oh, but don't worry, part of the back kibble can actually come off. It's the rear of the car, which turns into a hoverboard.
Don't you remember seeing her famous hoverboarding scene?
The wheels.
What do you mean? This is 100% G1 accurate. This is a peak Transformer toy design. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the wheels barely pass for VTOL fans.
I remember that scene. She wielded a Springer's iconic Wrecker's hammer.
Yeah. She said, "Wreck and rule, assholes."
Wreck and rule, boys.
I mean,
my favorite part is when RC said, "Gaslight geek, keep girl." I'm sorry, Rootstone. You keep going.
I mean, it's not the only Earthrise figure to have chunks of vehicle pretending to be capital U, capital A useful accessories. Hi, Cliffjumper. But it's particularly egregious here. And you might be wondering what separates this from something like Energon Towline or G1 Ironhide and Ratchet. The difference is that those bots, from their inception, were designed to split apart for the transformation, and the separate components form interactive platforms that enhance the overall play value of those figures. From the start, G1RC was never supposed to do this, so it comes off as, we can't figure out a proper transformation, so just have a chunk of the car come off, we'll deal with it later. Outside of posts for effects parts and her piloting the thing, there's little play to be had anyway. Now, if this was the absolute first attempt at a mainline transforming cartoon accurate RC, it would still be a mess. But I might cut it a little slack, given what I brought up about her character design. But it's not. 6 years prior, we got a deluxe RC for Thrilling 30, and while I may have overhyped that one in hindsight, it still holds up fairly well, all things considered. Mainly because more of the vehicle is incorporated into the robot. The bonnet actually forms the chest, and the legs make up the rear half of the car. So what's this toy's excuse? What really gets me, it's multiple things, because on top of them reusing the mold twice for other characters, they fucking package refresh this thing for Kingdom. Like, I'd question if they knew how iffy this toy went down the first time, but they had to have realized at some point, because for Studio Series 86, they went back to the Thrilling 30 figure, which at that point was 8 years old, and retooled it to better match the show. Yes, it made it more of a shell former in the process, but even then, the car folds up far more elegantly than Earthrise RC could even hope to. You know what? I'm going to say it. The Authentics figure looks like it has a proper transformation compared to this.
I actually have that one. It does.
And
Got it as
ultimately,
a stocking stuffer once.
I feel this is why the figure is underhated, in my opinion, as with them designing better RCs both before and after, there was no excuse for them dropping the ball this badly, and these days, there's no reason to get this, other than amusement value. Why else would I have it? God, this toy is such a pain in the arse.
This toy really deserves the title Chug Slop.
Yeah.
It is Chug, it is Slop, it is Chug Slop.
It is the Chug
I agree with all that. Especially now, like I think they've done so many better like figures for Feb. Like, well, not so many, but like Alita 1, like Legacy Alita 1, is just such a better Fembot figure than this.
Yeah, and I don't even think that one's particularly good.
I actually like that one a lot, but
It's okay, but I don't think it's special.
The vehicle into the robot mode.
Yeah. I think what Hasbro really needs to do is stop looking at the movie and just take the missing link pill and just, actually make her turn into the car.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Even if it means it's not accurate.
No, it's not accurate enough. That's the problem. It needs to be more accurate. We need to make it. We need to just reach into the film and just grab that. Obviously, it's not accurate enough.
I'm gonna give you a cardboard cutout.
Put the cardboard cutout of like Bobby Sculpey. It's not accurate enough. You see, it needs to be more accurate.
Anyway, that's all we had for our picks. But that's not the final segment of this podcast. As always, we go to our Chugcratic submissions. Basically, all that entails is you just go to my Discord server linked in the description, and about a week before each episode, Rinstone will typically pings everyone that to submit questions for us to answer on the podcast. And the first of what looks like 3 slides of questions. The first one comes from DN Prime 17, who asks, "What are your current back collecting holy grails?"
It's kind of funny because like I don't know about you guys, but for me, back collecting is just collecting.
I'm definitely of the opinion that a Holy Grail should only be considered bat collecting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like there is nothing current that can be deserving of the title Holy Grail. It's too new, no matter how good it is.
That's
agree.
what I figured.
If you can go to a store or order it online for the same price it was,
I actually have.
it doesn't count.
I was actually thinking about this very recently. My biggest holy grail right now is Cybertron Galvatron.
Ooh, that's
same.
a good
That's
one.
like a because I have never seen that toy anywhere. I've never seen it at a con. I've never seen it on
Really?
eBay. I've never seen it anywhere. And it's like it's one of the all-time. It is, in my opinion, one of the all-time coolest Megatron toys. And I know it's called
because there's like
Galvatron,
2 or 3.
but it's it's Cybertron Megatron in all silver. Like that is the coolest shit.
Yeah.
And it's almost never found. I've never seen it. Period. I've just never seen it. The only time I ever saw it
for me,
was. Pardon?
sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say the only time I ever saw it was on the catalog that came with the Cybertron toys back in the day. That's the only reason I knew it existed.
I almost kind of like the regular Cybertron Galvatron colors over the silver, because like the purple and the green and orange, because it was such a weird take on a Megatron color palette.
Yeah, it works.
With the bits of orange that like weird but good, weird in a good way. Like it works. Like that's almost more interesting to me than the silver. But the silver still looks good.
Hey, well, to each their own. I actually have the regular version, but I would really like to get the silver version still. So yeah, that's my holy grail.
I'm sticking on the Megatron train for a second. I think I don't really feel comfortable calling it a holy grail because I consider holy grails to be like stupid hard to get. But maybe that's just a me thing. But I feel like my best answer would be Masterpiece Megatron.
I mean, which one?
The good one.
Fair enough.
He's cool. I love that. I got him like 3 years ago. Not where as soon as I got him, I found out about the new Supply FX throat, like Lincoln throat, and I ordered that for him. And he, ever since I got that, I've just kind of had him sitting on his throne and hadn't really moved him ever since.
I just like how he looks in both modes, and I need a gun Megatron.
The problem is the kind of ironic thing I feel like is like, yeah, it's cool, he's a good, but then I feel like I just kind of have him sitting around robot mode most of the time because, like, what are you gonna do with the gun? Like, it's hard to display gun Megatron on a shelf. Not because of anything weird about him being a gun, but just because the gun takes up so much space.
It is.
By the time you add the silencer and the scope, and the
it is a slightly inconvenient thing to display.
Yeah.
From the stock. I mean,
I just want one,
But no, he's cool. No, totally.
And for me, on top of Cybertron Galvatron myself, I would also like the larger Energon Galvatron. I also like Energon Unicron.
I recently got that one a few months ago. He is fantastic.
Cybertron Cannonball as well, an original Cybertron Cannonball. And I could just cop out and say anything Beast Wars. But I like to. But one I will bring up is Diver, because he comes with kind of cool looking Niagara Falls playset.
Do you have Optimal Optimus?
Yes. He's GPS Pro, by the way.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah. That made me think of, if I could interject, you know what I saw that's kind of a low T? Because I was going to say something obvious like 2008 Shattered Glass
Scorponok,
Megatron. But yeah?
Scorponok, your entire, like, 60% of your collection is just made of other people's holy
Yeah.
grails.
Yeah, I tell people, I'm like, have you seen, like, Fate Stay Night, and you know how, like, Gilgamesh, and, like, do you know how, like, Gilgamesh is this whole gimmick? It's like all the other servants have, like, the one noble phantasm, and then Gilgamesh's gimmick is he just has, like, the entire treasure vault of all of them. It's like, yeah, my transfer collection is like that. Like, I have, like, the fucking Gate of Babylon for my Transformers collection.
Like, what could you possibly want?
I will tell you what I would want. In addition to, Primo Prime.
Mm.
I saw when I bought you mentioning Optimal Optimus reminded me about that because I saw him at BotCon last year, and I was like, it kind of reminded me like, hey, Primal Prime could be cool because I got Ape Link, like I think 2 years ago. I was like, well, it'd be kind of cool to have Primal Prime to go with them. So yeah, it'd be kind of cool. But I guess it's kind of like you said, like I think my collection, since I've gotten to like Gate of Babylon here with my collection, it's like, yeah, I have things where like this would be cool, but I don't know if I say Holy Grail since I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, like I'm dying for this, I have to have it. It's like I've just kind of been pretty content with where I'm at.
You could always say something like G2 Defense or something.
Like I'm not that crazy, okay? But I mean that would be cool, but like that might be a little bit much even for me.
Lucky Draw Cybertron Scourge and G1 Skylinks colors.
I want, if I had like Lucky Draw FU money, I would get somebody to make me a custom like Defiant shuttle based Skylinks. If I had that like Lucky Draw levels of money, that's probably what I'd get something custom like that.
Yeah.
Either that, or I just invest it in the Fans Toys Fort Maximus fund. Because you bet your ass when that comes out, I'm getting it. I will have it.
Our next question comes from Neil Nose Enthusiast, who asks, current stances on the Studio Series line. He does not elaborate as to what he means by that.
Just means like think about it.
Currently, the only thing I was really holding out for in the Studio Series line would be that they eventually did Warpath for Gamer Edition. You know, Warpath from DTOM. It looks like that's not happening now. So I just kind of,
yeah, we've been getting teased like video game like Bayverse video game characters and Toyline exclusive characters for like at least 3 years now, and we still haven't seen any of it. I honestly feel like Studio Series as like a separate distinct line is starting to like run its course and just kind of being a bit outmoded, I guess. Like the since we've gotten pretty much all of the movie like the Bayverse characters already, and it doesn't look like we're going to be getting anything from Bumblebee or Rise of the Beasts in the future. It just seems a little superfluous to have two completely separate toy lines when you can just have one bigger one. Because everything's already G1, and the video, like the High Moon characters that they might still do, won't be super out of place in Age of the Primes anyway, since they're still doing the whole multiversal thing, even though it's not in name anymore. That they'll still fit in enough. You don't really have to brand it as like, oh, it's a Gamer Edition anymore.
You see what gets me? I wish that my thing, like if it were me, I wish Studio Series would be all of like the G1 mainstays. Like all of the mainstay characters, like your Optimus, your Megatron, or Starscream, whatever. And then have like the actual mainline Chug be all of the weird, like Glup Shido experimental stuff. Like Give me like freaking Vroom or Crossblades or Thunderwing, or like give me Ultra Pretenders. Bring the Micromasters back. Like give me like do like weird. If you're gonna do G1 in Chug, do weird G1. Why do we have to be stuck with like 8 billion Optimuses every year? Just do the Studio Series one, make it really nice, and like give us the weird avant-garde stuff in like whatever comes after Age of the Primes.
Yeah.
That's my stance on it. Like I don't really collect Studio Series, I feel like, as much anymore. Because for me, Studio Series is just budget NP, and I don't need budget NP. I just collect the real thing. But you know, that's kind of what I would do. I would just like, if it were me in Studio Series, I just wish they would use that to have all of the standard characters to then free up so we get something fun.
That's actually that's not really a bad way to split things up like that. I'm actually kind of fond of that idea.
Yeah,
Because
I can see that.
Because it was fun when like Siege, Earthrise, and King, like they actually like tried things. Like maybe not as much of the Micromasters, but like the Weaponizers. As much as the Weaponizer gimmick was okay, at least it was they like were doing something. At least it was a thing. Like the Fossilizers were a fun little gimmick, and they kind of pair with the Beast Wars characters. You know, like I don't know, could do some kind of goofy stuff like that, and then have some weird like Lepshido characters. Like I said, why don't we have Thunderwing? How are we getting like Autobot Target Masters before Thunderwing? Like, really, people? Like Thunderwing's actually somewhat of a popular character.
Yeah.
It's like, how has he not had a new toy since freaking Generations?
It just really comes down to like it feels like Studio Series is having a really massive crisis of identity. It doesn't know what it wants to be anymore.
Yeah, because the original idea of Studio Series was just like, let's make figures as close to the movie designs as possible. And then you know, they did Studio Series 86, but like it's clear that like Studio Series 86 is trying to like kind of revamp the designs a little bit, you know, add a little bit more greebling, which is not a bad thing, but it's not what Studio Series was meant to be originally. So now Studio Series is kind of just Generations, but again.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it just feels like Generations Part 2. And it's like, that's how I keep saying, like, I feel like if you're going to have Generations Part 2, at least have, like, safe Generations and kooky like, Generations.
Yeah.
And you can use the money from the safe Generations because you know if you're going to make Optimus Prime, people will buy it. Doesn't matter how many Optimus Primes you make, somebody is going to buy it. You use that money to bankroll all of the weird stuff. Even if, like, only 5 people buy it.
It seems like that's what they're trying to do with their A-level assortments, because they're always like Optimus or Bumblebee and stuff like that. And, you know, those are like evergreen. They're on the shelves all year round. And then, you know, in the Age of the Primes line, we get fucking... trying to look for the weirdest figure I have. Probably fucking Venom.
I was going to say
Micronus Prime.
Yeah.
Oh god, I forgot Venid happened. Yeah, see, Venid's a great one. Like I don't even have Venid, but just the fact that we could get Venid is like, it's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. But like even then, the identity of Studio Series 86 was already muddied on the outset because it was released alongside Kingdom, who also had movie characters in it.
Yeah, that was just weird. That was just really weird.
Yeah, that was real. Yeah, like
It's like, sorry guys, we couldn't give you like Rampage or Depth Charge because we have to do Cyclonus again. It's like,
yeah, even though we have a specific subline that Cyclonus would fit in otherwise.
Or Galvatron. Why did Galvatron not just be 86 SS86 from the get-go?
Right.
It's like, why not give that leader slot to, like, I don't know, freaking Cryotech? Or, well, I guess actually that's probably not. Rampage, Transmetal to Optimus,
Transmetal 1 Optimus, even.
I mean, I meant to say Transmetal 1. I said
Oh.
I meant to say Transmetal 1. Because Transmetal 2 is optimal.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Depth Charge and Rampage really got shafted, though. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Why didn't we get Kingdom for either one? Or Silverbolt. I mean, Silverbolt didn't get his figure until Legacy.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been meaning about the Stu series. Is like, why do clear out Kingdom, Age of Primes, clear that out. Let that be the weird things, and let Studio Series be safe.
Brimstone, I'm afraid we've talked over you quite a lot in this segment.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, it's not like I can really add much anyway. Thinking about how Studio Series has gone on for many years, I just miss the days where each movie that came out had its own fully fleshed toy line.
Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days. Our final question comes from Botshots, who asks, do you think the Botshots line was where Transformers as a brand peaked? Do you think the only way to save the franchise as a whole is to return to those amazing toys? I think he might be a little biased.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think he's onto something. I think,
sorry, the Botshots weren't G1 animation accurate, so no, they will not save the franchise. Sorry.
What if they made another season of G1 where all of the character designs were completely accurate to the Botshots toys?
That would be based. I'm botshotting! Ah!
I think what we need to do is we need to continue the G1 storyline. We need to make Transtech. Transtech needs to happen. We need to go back to the original timeline.
Transtech would
continue it with Transtech.
I would be for that. Transtech would be my kind of weird. Let's go.
Indeed. That's how we save the brand, people. This totally isn't my bias showing.
Anyway, it seems that Botshots. It seems that the echoes of Botshots live on in the shitty little gimmick lines with what are they now? The ones that come together, like there's two
Swapticons?
Swapticons, yes, thank you.
Swapticons,
yeah.
Yes.
They're the new Botshots.
They really are, aren't they? You're right. Same vibe.
They're the Gen Alpha Botshots.
They're the 69 Ohio Rizzlers of Botshots. Oh god, I hate myself for that one.
We hate you too, don't worry.
Yeah. I can't wait for Skibbity Miss Prime. The leader of the Botshots.
But yeah, that brings our Sorry, I forgot that was the thumbnail.
Honestly, that thumbnail was the perfect conclusion.
There is actually a question that a cryptid person put in the chat in your server kit, and it's based on what Char said about Overgear, because it's directed at you, me, and Scorponok. If you had to reorient your TF collection around one line, like Char's reorienting around Overgear, which line would you choose?
He also says, if the meaning of reorient is unclear, ask Char what he meant and go from there. So Char, what the fuck did you mean?
Wow, very accusatory.
What did you mean by that?
So when I say reorient, I mean basically theming my collection around that toy line and primarily picking toys that choosing to keep toys that fit with the aesthetic of that toy line, as well as mainly collecting that toy line. So for me, it's Overgear, and things that fit with Overgear. And also, holy shit, fucking Core Cloth Soundwave was on my desk this whole time, and I didn't notice. That's how forgettable of a toy it is.
That's funny.
Case in fucking point.
There you go.
Myself, I think the answer is pretty much obvious to anyone who's been talking to me recently, and that's Missing Link.
Yeah.
I
So
wanna be
just the
that
G1
guy.
and Missing Link then?
I mean, I don't know. If I could pick a second one, it would definitely be Cybertron. There would definitely be a lot more like breadth in what I'd be able to collect with Cybertron as opposed to Missing Link.
I mean, the thing is, when I say like I'm gonna keep like I'll give an example. Generations 2000 whatever grapple, Solar Storm grapple. I'm gonna keep that because I think that fits with the Overgear aesthetic. I think that could fit in that world. It doesn't just have to be figures that fit. It doesn't have to just be figures from that toy line.
No, I know that, and I'd be collecting like other stuff from around that era. And Energon toys definitely fit, but it's also sort of just like a vibe thing, and I think Missing Link and G1 have very distinct vibes from each other.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I can't really think of anything else that I currently have that fits the vibe of Missing Link.
Maybe like Chogokin toys.
Well, I don't have any of those.
Oh,
But,
buy some.
Chogokin.
I have the only Chogokin toys I have are the Woody and Buzz ones.
Oh man. Oh no. Okay. No, I know the one.
A die
Not
cast
the
Woody.
main base one, but the Megazord ones.
Yeah.
I want the Mickey Mouse one, but I don't.
They made like a Chogokin character in Toy Story, and then made a toy of it, or like made a prototype of it, and I really want that because it was actually a pretty cool combining toy. But now I feel like we're getting off topic from the question. So does anyone else have a?
Yeah, my thing would be I'm gonna be crazy and I'm gonna say mine would honestly be G.I. Joe. Because I love the crap out of my G.I. Joe crossover figures. And I've bought all of the G.I. Joe crossovers except for the His Tank Megatron, because that one is booty cheeks. But that and I have the TFC one and it's just better. So I don't really need to buy the His Tank one. But
Yeah.
it's like I just love that set so much that like if more figures would exist, like if there was like a full line worth of them, I would definitely reorder my collection around that. And it'd be cool, like if I had infinite space, it'd be cool to get like actual G.I. Joe ones, like original pieces from the 80s, and like display with them because they're like the same, since they're the same scale. And like have some fun with that. Although I am kind of in the process of reordering my collection right now, out of reorienting away from Chug into NP. But I don't think it'll be as drastic as what you're doing.
I mean, I'm mostly just selling a bunch of my Chug to make space for Overgear type stuff.
I'm just selling Chug to make room for MP. I gotta sell. That's how I want to get a booth at TFCon, sell as much as possible.
Fair enough.
So
Yeah.
I must make room so I could buy more Make Toys planes. The planes
Son, I
that
don't think you've answered this question.
Beast Wars. Moving on.
Who saw that coming?
But yeah, that in that case, that brings this episode to a close. We are swiftly approaching the 3-hour mark, so it's a very good place to end.
Yeah.
Once again, I've been. This has been Kid Catastrophe. You're obviously watching my channel, so just hit that subscribe button down below, and maybe if I'm feeling in the mood for it, I'll make a video. I've been joined today by my Dean of Critique, Runestone, who has a YouTube channel of his own, who just posted a video today. So go watch that.
On Alternators Ricochet.
Yeah, very good one. Definitely not Char, the Dean of Fabrication. Do you have anything to shill?
I haven't posted in ages, but not Char designs on Colts 3D. I'll
Hell yeah.
update it when I feel like it.
And our special guest, G1 Scorponok. Do you have anything to shill?
Nothing here. I need to get a YouTube channel just so I can show my shit off. Maybe I'll name it like Gilgamesh's Toy Vault or some shit. Just make it like Gilgamesh themed. Just buy like gold gloves or something. Be like, just be like LARP is fucking Gilgamesh from Fate. Just be like, yes, allow me to show you from my Gate of Babylon. What will be Gate of Babylon today? Oh yes, BarCon 2016 Megatron.
We're officially making you the Dean of Finances.
Dean of Economics.
Next episode, I think it will be on third-party figures.
Yeah.
I won't be there because my experience is limited to 2 figures.
What's the second one? I know you have the Mass Toys Glyph, but what's the second one?
The Red Bull Sideswipe.
You have.
Oh, that's a nice figure. At least it looks nice.
Don't you remember in a previous episode I showed that off as part of a TF Nation haul?
I don't remember what I had for dinner last night.
Yeah, that Raging Bull or whatever they call it, I think. Yeah, that's a cool figure. I always looked at that one. I was like, I considered getting one. It's like I just don't have. It just doesn't go with anything that I have, so I couldn't justify it. But it looks great.
I could, if I had it, I'd put it with my F1 stuff because he turns into a Red Bull. Haha. Fucking sideswipe. Anyway, we really need to end the show. So once again, this has been a great time to have y'all on the channel. But until next time, this has been the Chugcratic Seminar. Class dismissed.